Hey guys, just seen who's turning up for this. Just about a quick discussion about the channel, see what's happening, tell you what's happening, and so forth, so on and so on. Let's see. So I'll just wait here for a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anybody here. 28, no. Look, one person already. Hello. Yeah. Hey, Ken Corsa, how are you doing, my babe? Hope you're well. It's been a shit couple of weeks. I shouldn't say that. Okay, it's been a crap couple of weeks. But we're trying to get things on an even flow again. Just a quick thing about the channel. Where have I been? Oh, sorry, man. I've been pretty ill. I've been pretty ill these last couple of weeks. I've had a few problems, and plus I've been sick. So I'm trying to get back onto an even keel. So bear with me, please. Sorry, I'll try to do regularly more lives now. I'm going to try to discuss the channel. Um, if people know, I've got a Patreon out for this channel. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. So I've got a Patreon for the channel. It's £5 a month, and what it is, it's sort of like a book club. I'm reviewing historical books or books of historical significance of being of a famous historical character or an event. And every month I'll be doing. It'll be like anybody who joins the Patreon will have a chance to win a book and a small gift with it too. I'm trying to get more viewers this way. More subscribers. I'm hopefully, you know, trying to do trying to do a thing for the channel. Hey Dagmar, how are you doing? Thank you very much for being here. And like I said, I'm trying to get more people to join. And also, you've got a chance of, like, say, winning a book and a small cash gift. It's a way of me giving back to the subscribers who have joined the Patreon. So you've got a chance of winning a little bit there. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with the channel. The first book I'm reading so far is, let me find it. I've got it here somewhere. Well, I did have it here somewhere. Okay, so the first book I'm reading is a book by John Kelly, and it's called The Graves I Walk In, and it's about the history of the Great Irish Famine. It's quite a good book so far. I've only tried going through the first chapter. It's pretty graphic in what it says, but it gives you. It looks like it gives a non-biased opinion of what happened in Ireland during the Irish famine. Now, I won't call it potato famine because that'd be wrong, but it's due of the Irish famine. So if anybody wants to join the Patreon there, they can do, and they have a chance of like winning this book, and also, like I said, winning a small prize there. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'll also try and be doing more discussions, more lives. So it'll be like 2 lives a week, one for just for chat, and the other one to talk about the book. So this, yeah, so that's what I'm planning to do with this page. I'm trying to bring it forward, and this will, and also this will always be a non-drama channel. I won't have any stock accounts or who I think is a stock account or anything like that, or any abuse by anybody or any trolling or anything like that. This is it. You've got to put a foot down somewhere, and you've got to have like a non-drama stuff. So this is what I'm planning to do. Ah, yeah, so like I say, and also I do apologise for not doing a live stream. I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to be more regularly proactive on this channel and trying to get more stuff done. I have got a new video cam. I've got got a new video cam. I just need to get some stuff for the historical thing, and yeah, so it's all looking rather positive at the moment. Just that money is a bit tight. Yeah, so it's all good. So how has everybody's day been so far? I hope it all been well. Hope all's been good. So yeah, it's a bit weird talking to myself sometimes. So if there's anybody you'd like to come up, just let me know and I'll drop the thing down. So if you'd like to come up and join for a chat, you know. And Patreon is a thing where you pay. I mean, you get set up a Patreon page and you pay the subscriber like £5 a month, and it's almost like having subs on here. You pay your sub on here. It's almost like that, but bypassing YouTube because you need to get over like so many subscribers and so many watch hours. But you can sort of do it almost instantly through Patreon. You know. Oh, brilliant. What's the holiday, Dagmar? Is it like a special day in Belgium or? Hmm, okay, so there's three. Yeah. So anything else happened today? Usually I'd have my co-host Liz, but maybe a bit. If it is too early for her, and she's been busy at the moment, so we need to get a track on that. It was the Virgin Mary going to heaven today. All right, so like a Catholic holiday then. So what do you do to celebrate that? Is there like any special food or any type of special celebration or things like that? Because I know in some places I don't know, I think it's Italy, they make this like cooking. They put eggs in it. They put a whole egg in it, for some special holidays. Like in Scotland, they'll have haggis, neeps, and tatties for Burns night. Nothing for me. But is there any type of special food you do cook for it? Because some of these holidays do have that type of thing. And if you want to join, we worked in a garden today. Oh, sweet! I do like a bit of gardening. Assumption Day. Okay. So, if you'd like to join the Patreon, I think the Patreon's on the community page too. So, if you look at my community page, there's the address for the Patreon, and you can do it through there. Assumption Day. Okay, let's have a look at this. I'll find out. Every day's a school day. Okay. Feast. Sweet rice cakes. Okay. Hmm. Let's see if it's something day food. Cassetta cake. I need to have a look at this up. I do have a sweet tooth. Let's have a look at this cassetta cake. Well, that's Italian. Well, that does look nice, doesn't it? Well, hey, Chooch, how's it going, my man? I hope you're feeling a lot better, dude. I know you've been ill, so I really hope you're well there. No, hey, Chelsea, how's it going, my babe? I hope you're well too. So, yeah, smiley face to you too. I'll put this down for you there. We always love a bit of Chelsea, and we love a bit of Chooch too. He's a good guy. Yeah, yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm just doing like I said, doing a live, talking about what I'm trying to do for the channel, and trying to take it forward from there. I'll just repeat the thing. I'm trying to yeah, 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 build, yes. Well, you're closer to Italy than I am. That's all I can say. Them in Belgium's. All you invented was the Smurfs. That's what you've done. Yeah, so Cooch, I'm trying to think. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a Patreon where I'm going to do review a book of like historical events or historical person, and if you join the Patreon, you have a chance to win this book and a small prize with it too. You know, the book I'm reading at the moment is a book about the Irish famine, and it's called The Graves I Walk In, and it's by an author called John Kelly. So hopefully, yeah. So we'll try to get a thing up, and yeah. Oh, hello, Spike. How's it going, mate? If you want to, you can come and join us. I'll drop down the stream link so you can come and say hello. I'll put that down. Hey, Liz. There you go. There's the stream link. I'll be watching. It saves me talking to myself really too. I really hate talking to myself. Feels like I'm talking to myself. So ah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm good. I'm feeling good. Yeah, I haven't done a live in a while, so I do apologise to everybody about that. I'm going to try. I'm going to be a lot more proactive for this channel. I've just got to find over. Oh dear, John Claude Van Damme is chocolate. I'll give you chocolate. Yeah, I'll give chocolate. Beer, you do. Belgium does good beer too. Um, chips, chips, fries and mayonnaise. That is an amazing combination. Yes, okay, rub it in there, Dagmar. Rub it in. Um, waffles, yes, okay, waffles. You're trying to prove me wrong here now. Uh, Footballers, yeah, yeah, we've got good footballers. Just saying, oh, all right, keep your hair on there, love. Keep your hair on. No need to pick on me. Yeah, I feel getting abused on my own channel. It's terrible. Yeah, so I did put the thing if anybody wants to come up and join. So I'll be waiting. Just you know. Hey, Liz. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes,
All
yes.
right. Hey, are you doing okay? You said you didn't want to talk to yourself, so I thought
Yeah,
I'd.
yeah. It's just yeah. It seems a bit weird. Usually years ago I would have been locked up for doing this.
You think?
Yeah, yeah,
Locked up?
yeah. Talk to yourself. It's the first sign of madness. The
Well, you're
second
right.
sign, and yeah, the second sign is when you answer yourself back.
Yep. In real life, yeah, you uh,
Mm.
for sure. You run around or walk around mumbling to yourself. People are gonna sooner or later think you need some real help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Chelsea. I hope everything's okay there. What happened to the power?
2 hours,
Oh,
she says. Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, I went live just to discuss what's going on with the channel and trying to put forward my Patreon and my new idea of doing a book review and giving back to people who subscribe.
Well, there's been a lot of stuff going on.
And that
So,
doesn't really interest me on this channel.
no, I know. I know it doesn't.
It's
But
not here for it.
that's
That's
what's been that's where people have been preoccupied, I guess is
well,
what I'm saying.
this is the first time I've been live, and I'm not really here to discuss that.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I'm
so
not trying to drag it up. I'm just saying that's where people's minds have been. So
yeah,
it's nice to have something different.
yeah. Like I said, that's up to other people.
Yep.
It's like I
You
say, I'm
got
trying to stay clear, and any of that does happen here, no matter who it is, I'm just going to take off.
Shoot just talking about some football stuff, sports stuff that I hope you
Yeah.
understand because I sure don't.
Well,
Hey,
of course.
Vic.
See, I know what he's talking about. He's talking
Yeah, I
about
know.
a Belgian football player, and Zolt. Yeah, he's talking about one of the best strikers in the world. So
Riker. Yeah, see, I
yeah,
don't know what that.
okay. He's a player plays up. He's a player plays forward. It's a bit like basketball. It goes through different levels. Your
Oh,
defenders will defend the goal. Your midfielders will push the ball up or down, and you usually push them up to the strikers, and the strikers will score.
okay. He's laughing at me because I don't know.
Yes. Hey,
Sorry,
Vic.
Chief.
Yep. See, where's Vic? Good day, Vic. If you want to come up, I'll put the thing up again. So there you go. There's the thing up there.
I'm not seeing it yet on the YouTube side, but
Yeah.
maybe it's showing.
Oh, so you were a striker then, mate? Were you a goal hanger? Were you a poacher, or were you an out and out attacker? I'll be up in a bit. Look, Vic, whatever you do in your own personal life, it's up to you. I just don't want to know that. If you come up, to here, I understand.
You just had to get that out there, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought
that's
so.
cool, mate. That's cool. You know, I always say the attacker's the hardest bit. Defending's all right. Midfielder, but once you get that attacker, it just relies on you, and you just got to try to bang him in. You know.
Fall asleep at
Oh
soccer
dear.
games. Chooch.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to talk about my idea again. What happens is I want people to join the Patreon. and have the chance of winning a book of a like a book about a historical event or a person, and they'll have a small cash prize with that too. It's like giving something back, you know.
Yeah, I get you. When you gonna do this?
Well, I've got the book here, the reading, and hopefully I'll do the draw. I will do the draw at the end of September.
Oh, okay.
So it gives people plenty of time. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so yeah. It's like I say, it's not going to be, I mean, the more people are join, the more give back. But right now, it's only going to be a small amount at the moment, you know? But it's better than the kick in the balls, as I always say.
Okay, so Patreon, you said. Now is that a monthly commitment, or how?
It's a monthly commitment. Hold on. I'll let me see it because I've got it here. Let me get my page up here. You know. Community. Okay, so let me click on that. Okay, so copy. This is it. And what happens is you pay £5 a month, and when then once you join, the people who join, I'll do the raffle for the book, and they can have the book and a small prize with that too.
Okay, and you have to do this payment electronically, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I've got to get off my butt and go out and get a prepaid card of some sort because I don't like to do electronic payments. I've told you this before many times. Using my only debit card, right? I just don't feel safe. So Lizzie gave me the really great idea of going out and getting a prepaid card, and I just haven't done it.
Oh yeah, you can get them sent to you. You can do it on the internet and all that too.
Oh, you can.
You can get them sent to you.
Okay.
No, you can get them sent to you.
All right, I'll.
If you just Google it, Liz.
You're right. I will do that. I thought I was going to have to go out to a drugstore or someplace, and they have racks. At least here, I don't know about over
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can Google it and they'll send it. Just what you have to do is just Google it there.
And
prepaid credit card.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. But if you went and did it at a store, I think you have to go through the register to load the card up. I'm not sure how that works at a store.
I'm not too sure. I think that's the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
It sounds like a prepaid top up for mobile phone.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I gotta put it on my list of things to do, and I've just had other things.
Like I say, it's just an idea, and if it catches on, if more people want to join and it catches on, it will stay on, and obviously, but I won't renege. I'll keep it on for a little bit, then I'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't let me forget to go get that stupid card then, okay? Stay on my butt till I do it.
Yeah, well, it's up to you. I'm not going to force anybody to do it, so.
No, I'm up.
Yeah.
I just got to get the right vehicle to do it with.
And I'll go down to the exchange, and whoever wins what currency it is, I'll go and send them the currency.
Yeah, well, there's a couple other channels that I'd like to be able to donate to that I haven't, like good old Ham Banana, bless his heart. He's always open to donations.
Yeah, yeah.
And a couple others, not a lot of them, but a few.
So, and like I said, I've got the video cam to do my other channel too. So, but it's all money at the moment. Money is a bit tight. I mean, the shopping. I've done my shopping, and I went into the shop, and I spent like £132 on shopping.
Oh wow.
There was no beer and alcohol in that neither.
I spent that much on Costco delivery
Well,
yesterday.
when I done my shopping 3 years ago, I bought I always buy like a lump of pork because that can do me like 4 meals.
Yeah, okay.
So 3 years ago, a lump of pork would cost me £6 or £7.
Okay. How much now?
£12.36.
Wow. Now, lump, give me a pound. Well, you guys don't do pounds, right? You don't do ounces and pounds. What do you do it in?
No, that's the price. That was the price of it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it tells you the price on the thing. So I
Yeah,
would
but
tell
I'm just
you. I can't remember how much it is per pound or by the weight. But the
well,
same weight I bought 3 years ago will cost me £12 now.
so it's doubled in 3 years.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't paid that close attention. I know that our meat and seafood has gone up a lot in the last few years as well. But COVID and the supply chain, it's hard to figure out what all is causing the price differences, right? Is
No. It's to do with the energy too. The energy thing, because they use gas to knock out the pigs, and they've got to use the petrol to transport them, and over
yeah,
oil and things. So yeah, so it's all
yeah,
to do with that. There's this
yeah. It could be
fizzy
that
fizzy
too.
drinks have gone up. You used to get used to get bottles for like £1.50. Now they've gone up to like £2 odd. You get
Yeah,
just everything seems to be gone up at the moment. But there is things that are lowering. They say. Cheese is another good one. Cheese, you can spend up £5 onto a block of cheese.
oh, I can spend $7 or $8 on a block of cheese, 2 pounds. Yeah.
But I think our cheese is better than your cheese over here.
Well, you think all your stuff is better than ours.
No,
That's
not entirely, not entirely. I just
that's
think
a given.
British cheese and European cheeses are a lot better than American.
Well, sweetheart, cows are cows. What makes you think they're better?
Just the
What makes
different
them better?
types. I don't know. It's just the different types. They're not really that heavily more. I just don't know. They're just a lot better. I mean, Dagmar could tell you that European cheeses are so much better than American cheeses.
Well, I've never had European cheeses, so I can't make a um,
You've never had
informed.
brie.
Oh, well, I've had imported ones that come over here, yes, but I've
Okay, so
never gone.
that's European cheeses.
Okay.
The great cheese nations is Britain,
Uh-huh.
Mexico, funny
Mexico,
enough.
really?
Yeah, France.
France, yes, I knew
Yep,
France.
Switzerland,
Switzerland, that
Holland.
makes sense. Yeah.
Holland's a good cheese nation,
Okay.
and I'd say Greece too. Greece has got some really nice cheeses.
Yeah, I don't like their feta, but other than that, maybe.
Yeah, the Mediterranean. Italy, yeah, Italy sort of. I mean, they do really good. They do gorgonzola, they do pecorino, they do parmigiano.
Provolone. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
do some really nice things.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
And that's all sold here, my dear.
yeah, but that's what I mean. European cheeses are better than American cheeses.
Well, American cheese isn't what I call real cheese if it's called American, like Kraft does American
Yeah, yeah. I
cheese.
mean, that's not real cheese. No, that's not
No,
real cheese.
no.
I'm just saying cheeses in general are better than America.
We do a lot of our own cheddar, and I like cheddar.
Yeah, but the cheddar comes from. Hey Anna, how's it going? Um, yeah, but they come from Britain. The cheddars come from Britain.
Okay. I think we do some American cheddar too, hon.
You do
I've
American cheddar,
actually,
but I'm just saying the actual way the cheese was cheddar cheese, these things, is actually British.
have you ever studied or read up on cheese making? It's a interesting process.
Cheese making, yeah, meaning you can, yeah, you use animal rennet to split the milk after doing it to a
Yeah,
process of so much temperature.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
it comes out. Then it comes out solid. So
yep,
you cut the curds.
yep,
Then you take away the whey.
yep,
Then you process it in how you want to.
yeah. It's a time. What's the word I want? Time. It takes some time, depending on the type of cheese too. Do you know about Tillamook over in Great Britain? The Tillamook cheese company that we have here. Have you heard of them?
No.
Okay. Well, they're big here, especially on the West Coast. They're in Oregon, which is not far from me. And I've actually toured their factory. They've got a factory that is open to the public, and you get to go and you can watch some of the stuff and buy a lot of their stuff. They do ice cream, they do cheese,
Yeah,
dairy.
there's a place down me that does their own cheeses and ice creams and creams like that. It's called Loseley Park.
Oh, okay.
It does that. But yeah, I can't remember what I was just about to say. But in Britain, we've got so many different types, so many regional cheeses too.
Do you guys do
You-
mostly?
It's
Yeah,
mostly like a cheddar type, but we do
right.
have blue. We don't mean, yeah, Stilton is the king of cheeses.
But you can do cheese from so many different animals, right? So there's
Yes.
cows and
Yeah.
there's goat
Yep.
and what else? There's got to be others. I'm not
Sheep.
sure.
Sheep,
Oh,
Liz. Sheep.
sheep as well. Okay.
Yes. How do you think feta is made? And
I thought it was probably goat
halloumi.
based, but yeah, I didn't know for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yay. Well done, Chelsea. You got your power back on. It's brilliant
Oh, does
news.
she good?
Coach, don't put me off cheese, mate. I don't know how to ban you. I don't want to ban you, mate, but you're putting me off cheeses, mate, with that. Stop it. Stop it now. It's not funny. It is
He
sort of,
says,
but no, stop it.
what's he saying? Something about the real Italian cheese.
No, no, no. It says that. That's the only thing I'm going to
Oh,
put for trolling.
yeah, I see that up there. That yeah, I got
Yep.
you, Cheech.
There is
And
actually
Vic,
mean.
I'm sorry, I was just saying Vic just had to egg him on. Quit hiding
Yeah,
in your
Vic.
chat, Vic.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be a bar steward, Nick. Vic. Nick. No, Vic. Yeah, don't be a
Vic,
bastard. Don't egg him on. You're being bad.
do not call him Nick. He is Vic.
Oh, I'm going to call him Nick because he's being a bit of a bastard right now. He's trying to incite rebellion.
Yeah, he's
We
playing.
British put down rebellions.
Yeah, but you don't always win, right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I
We
had to.
only lost that
I had
one.
to.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
only lost
is
that
that
one in the 1700s because we let you.
what about what about India? Was that a rebellion or did you just let them go?
Oh no, there was a rebellion in India. There was the mutiny. There was a mutiny there. Of course, what happened
Okay.
was lots of soldiers were joining, and there was a rumor started saying that the army started putting ham fat
Uh-huh.
on the cartridges for the rifles
Why?
because there used to be paper cartridges, so you had to tear them off with your teeth.
Okay.
And they said they put ham fat to make the paper taste a little bit better, but it wasn't. There was no truth to it. So there was the Indian mutiny where, yeah, so lots of bad things happened on both sides.
Because they didn't like the fact that ham was pork was being used.
Yeah, because there was a rumor. It was just a rumor, and it wasn't true.
Okay, I'm confused. I thought
Because okay,
India's
what religions come from were mostly in India at that time, Liz?
I don't, Sikh and Islam, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Hindu. How many of
Hindu.
them? Yeah, okay, how many of them are vegetarian religions, Liz, or do not eat pig?
I thought it was just the Jewish dietary laws for pork. The Indian I thought was beef, cow. Um, so that's where my confusion is.
Cooch done a Brexit on us, Paul.
What's that?
Yeah, Cooch done a Brexit on us.
Kush.
Did he vote out? No. Okay, so lots of Hindus and lots of Muslims do not eat meat. No, Muslims do not eat pork.
Okay, I think I
It's
think
it's haram. It's haram to them. Is
yeah,
they're
yeah,
dirty
yeah.
creatures.
Yeah,
So
they,
that caused a massive rebellion, and it caused a lot of people to die. A lot of
Okay, but when India got their independence, was that just the British government giving it to them, or did they
British
have to?
government. Yeah, British government gave it to them
Okay,
after World War Two,
yeah,
which
right,
caused almost a civil war in India because they had the creation of Pakistan and Muslims. There was
yes,
lots of religious violence.
right. I do remember, and Gandhi and
Okay,
all
yeah,
that.
but
Yeah.
that's before. That was way after the That was after the Indian Mutiny. That was both
Okay,
thing. The Indian Mutiny happened in the Victorian times. That happened in 1946.
okay, I got you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
so
hardly anything about
yeah,
their history.
so the mutiny happened. Lots of bad things happened on both sides, and the British done an execution called blown by cannon,
All right.
where you were tied to a cannon. Your back was onto the barrel, and the British would fire a cannon at.
Ooh. Well, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, Liz. You're bound to die. Your body
Uh,
gets blown to bits.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking. This doesn't sound good at all. Okay.
But there was lots of wrongs done on both sides.
Well, that
But
happens in every
maybe
war.
Britain shouldn't have been there. But who are we to judge history?
Well, India was a British colony for a long, long time, weren't they?
Um, sort of. And we've got to remember. You've got to look at the history and remember it was the East Indian Trading Company that took over
Right.
in done India. It was like how to describe it in modern terms. You see the Wagner Group. You've
What
heard of the
now?
Wagner Group. The Wagner Group.
No,
You haven't heard of the Wagner Group in Ukraine?
no. Sorry.
Seriously? You haven't been watching the news?
Well, I don't watch the news enough.
Okay, so the Wagner Group is a private army, is Putin's private army.
Okay.
They're mercenaries. This was like the East Indian Trading Company, but what made the difference between East Indian Trading Company and the Wagner Group is the East Indian Trading Company went and took a country and took the money from it. Wagner Group is there for killing. East Indian Trade tried to set it up, take over the country, and set up a trade route between India and Britain, which they'd done.
Right.
But they got so far powerful and so big for the boots, it got taken away. I think in the Victorian times.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. Is the
so
East India Trading Company still in existence today?
no, Liz, no, it got taken away. Said that it got taken away in the Victorian times.
Oh, totally taken away.
Yes. Okay. Yes, India fell under total British control, not East Indian Trading Company control thing, because the East Indian Trading Company had its own navy and own army.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
They were huge, right? I mean, they were the biggest trader for a long time, if I
Well, yeah,
remember
and we
correctly.
got to remember India was a massive part of the spice route. It had more spices
Yeah.
and it had precious items, precious metals and stones. So
Well,
yeah,
and there was also the correct me if I'm wrong. There was it involved China as well because there was China for a while would only take opium in payment for trade, and so there was a triangle
yeah.
with
Then you're talking about
for
the
tea.
opium wars, the opium
Yeah,
wars. There, Liz.
yeah, yeah, and the
So it,
tea. Yeah,
yeah, it was mostly opium. It was called the opium wars. Wasn't really anything, you know.
right. But tea was part of the triangle. Opium, tea,
Yeah,
and
tea
yeah.
too. And that's how tea became popular. Hey, Brian, that's how tea became popular in Britain. We weren't a tea nation until the Victorian times.
Oh, really?
There was more coffee shops in London than there was tea shops in the 1817 to 1800s.
I did not know that. I thought you guys were always tea.
No,
Wow. Okay.
hey, Brian, I'll drop the link if you want to come up and join us. We're having a scintillating chat about history. There you go. So we weren't always a tea nation. It was tea that built up in the Victorian times. There, tea was expensive. Coffee
But
wasn't.
tea is still more popular over there now than coffee, right?
Yeah, that's because of the Victorian times. There,
Right.
you know.
That's what I thought.
Is this
So,
live? Yes, it. Yes. For fuck's sake. Okay,
oh,
cool.
Brian says he can't come up. All right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm still waiting for Vic to put his money where his mouth is.
yeah, yeah. So that was tea that made the British Empire. You
You
got to
guys,
remember that coffee was made in the Americas, and it was a far easier trading route to come from the Americas than it was to from India.
oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if you look at the Atlantic, so that would be almost on the Indian Ocean. So they had to go through India, sail past
Right.
the Cape of Good Hope, come up through South Africa, and come up through that way. Well, if they went through the
Yeah.
Atlantic, they would just sort of sail down the way, really, wouldn't they? To Jamaica and West Indies and places like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, you're right. Coffee was a lot closer.
Yeah, so
South America as well, because they grow it, and so yeah.
we didn't have any really colonies in South America. It was more in the West Indies.
But we I don't know about back then, but we get a lot of coffee from South America now.
Yes, because it's a South American drink, but there is
Yeah.
when we also rum and treacle came from the West Indies because of the sugar.
Yes, that is also true. I
And
guess
it's how
Hawaii
we
isn't doing as much sugar as they
Yep,
used
and
to.
it's how we get a thing called lime cordial over here.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
It's a fruit syrup drink, and you mix it with water. It makes your water taste better.
Okay, and it's lime flavored.
Well, you can get different flavors now. Lime, you can get orange and mango, black currant, strawberry, rhubarb, whatever comes in. But in the olden times, it used to be limes and lemons
Right.
because they had Vit C, and you could
Okay.
transport it on the Navy ships to stop getting scurvy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Citrus for
And that's
scurvy.
how we get called limeys too.
What are they called?
That's how we Britons are called limeys in America.
Now that I didn't know either.
Because they
Okay.
would come aboard and they would smell strongly of limes
I
to stop them getting
gotcha.
scurvy.
Well, and if it did that, it was a good thing because scurvy was, rampant back in the day with
Mm.
ships, sailing ships, long voyages.
Yeah, the Royal Navy prided itself on trying to keep the ships clean and try to stop men getting sick, and so they thought of ways of doing it. Also, the food wasn't great because obviously it'd been a long thing, and he used to give a thing called a ship's biscuit at night so nobody could see,
Well,
and the ship's biscuit used to be full of maggots and weevils.
oh, you. Well, hardtack wasn't hardtack a big thing on ships? Am I
It
wrong?
was something like hardtack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
something like hardtack there.
Yeah. The problem was trying to preserve anything over longer periods of time, right? So,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah, that's how you got. That's how the That's why they gave the rum on the ships too. They had beer. Water was very, even though
Oh
they had
yeah.
big, was water will
Yep.
go off quickly.
Yep.
So they had all this stuff on there. Um, Also, I know pirates. They had this certain stew that showed keep on the boil. They keep on cooking, and
Uh-oh.
they'll
What was
just
it?
chuck it. I can't remember the name, but they'll just chuck anything into this stew, and they'll just keep it on the turn.
Okay.
So they'll be there constantly. You
Oh,
know.
gotcha.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to eat that meal.
Hmm. Doesn't
I'd
sound.
ended up having the Doyoki High Hay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't sound all that appetizing to me either.
No, no, it really doesn't.
Oh, excuse
One
me.
one pirate had I think, if I remember right, I think it's either one ship for they would transfer get all these cows so they could have fresh meat and fresh milk.
Okay.
So put all these cows all these cows on the ship. But what they didn't know is the cows would get seasick.
Uh-oh.
So all these cows were throwing up all over the ship. So they stopped transporting that type of livestock here too.
What about sheep? I heard they would sometimes keep sheep on board because they were
Yeah.
smaller. They could get milk, and they could eat mutton or lamb if they needed to. Goats maybe the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd just
And
like
they
to
were
say we all Cooch, you're never far from our thoughts, mate, and we'll wish you, wish you'll get better soon, mate, too.
I I think Chooch said he's moving this coming weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Yep.
send our blessings to you, mate. So, and hopefully send you some cow sick too, just through the thing of it too, because I like being a devil.
You little twerp.
But no, we really do wish you all the best, mate. Anytime you need us, we'll be there for you.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, and that is very true. Kane Course Mum said, make sure hit the like and subscribe button. Yay! So
Yeah.
please do. That is a great help for me.
What else
You
is
know.
going on over there for you,
Yeah, because
Paul?
like I said, I'm trying to keep off. I want a place where people can keep away from the drama. We can have a bit of a laugh and
Yeah. But you need some
yeah.
men up here to do that because y'all like to go down those dark roads that I don't know anything about
Well,
with your
we don't do that
with
here.
your humor. Oh yeah, I'm talking about the spicy the
Uh,
spicy stuff.
I mean that's different. I mean that's different to the drama. This is not drama. This is just having a laugh.
Yes. I'm
There's a
just saying.
difference there. I don't want people to come in here and having a go at people and insulting people and thinking that people can't come in here and have a chat and have a decent laugh. without
Well, that,
anybody picking on them or anything like that, because I don't do that.
okay. I've seen you and Bean.
Well, that's different. Veen deserves it sometime, the little sod.
Oh, Bean. I don't think he's online right now.
No,
I hope he's doing okay. I haven't talked to
yeah,
him in a little bit.
no, but that's different. I just want to give a place where people can have have a laugh, not worry about who's going to say who and what's going to say what and whatever.
I know. It gets old being out on other channels and feeling like you have to be so careful about what you say all the time. It can wear on you, or at least it can on me.
Yeah, and it just gives people a little break here. I know,
Yeah.
mate. I know. Well, I don't know about you, mate. You've got a Chelsea badge. I'm not too sure about the Chelsea thing, mate. It doesn't really do me well. I'm a Celtic supporter, and every time I see blue, I just feel like punching people. And I
Chelsea,
see
is that
that, yeah, and I see that blue, and I see that line too, and it's just no good for me. It's no good. But I'll let you off because since you run well, mate, I have to let you off that one. It's a football joke, Liz. It's a football joke.
it's sports, dude. I know nothing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a football thing.
Yeah, I can't contribute. I apologize.
Sometimes it's very hard, Kane. It's very hard, my babe. Especially when you see that Chelsea badge. It, and if you know Chelsea well, you know which team. There's their sister team in Scotland, and I support the green and white. I
What
don't.
team
I
is
don't
that?
do blue. Hey, Megan,
Yeah, I just saw her
the
too.
green and white. If you Google green and white Glasgow, you get your answer.
Oh, Glasgow. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I
I'll
gotcha.
put the link. I put the link up again. If anybody else wants to join, there you go. We can have a good chat.
Now, you keep saying that you're putting the link up, and on the YouTube side, I am not seeing it show up in the chat. But let me adjust my chat view.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Oh, totally, mate. Totally.
I'm
Celtic.
still not.
Yeah. Celtic. I've been. I've always. Yeah. My favourite player is Henrik Larsson. He always will be God to us. He's the King of Kings. Oh, totally, Kate. There's a massive rivalry. You go into wrong places in Glasgow, and you can get your head kicked in some places just for wearing the wrong type of top.
All right, I'm still not seeing it.
Still not seeing what, Liz? I'm putting them up.
I'm still not seeing the link come up in the chat on YouTube.
There you go. It's up there now. I mean, you have to wait for the delay. Are you watching
And
the
no,
StreamYard or are you watching YouTube?
I'm watching on the YouTube side because that's what the chat is seeing.
There you go. It's up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, Paul, it's not coming up for me.
I can see it. Is anybody else seeing the link? Is
I'm
anybody else
that's what
seeing the
I'm
link?
that's what I'm asking the chat right now.
Yep.
Because for some reason, now Megan says she's not seeing it either, sweetie.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, but nobody on the YouTube side in the
Yeah, but I
chat.
can see it. I see it on my YouTube too.
Okay, but I've got 3 people now that can't see it.
What the hell? Did anybody see that? The question marks.
Yes, I can see the question marks. Those have shown up.
Okay, so I'm going to put the link down again. Okay, I put it up again.
Now it's showing. But the last
Okay.
2 times that you said you dropped it, I didn't get to it. It didn't show for me. It's weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe because I put them in SteamYard. Well, the link's there. If you
I'm
want to
not
come
sure.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
People want to come up, them come up. Yeah,
Right.
so I'll
I
put
was.
show again.
Yep.
There you go. Ah, maybe I know why. Aha, okay. I figured it out. If anybody wants to come up, there you go. I do apologise.
Yeah.
My
I was
fault.
getting. I was getting a little suspicious why nobody else was coming up at all, even Vic, and then it dawned on me
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing the link
Okay. All right,
on the
Liz, hold
YouTube
on.
channel.
Here's Megan. Say
There
hello
you
to
go.
Megan, everybody.
Hey guys.
Hello, Megan.
Megan,
How are you?
how are you?
Hi Liz.
And I
Hi
hope you have a
Paul.
good night too, my babe. Hi, Megan. How are you, my babe?
I'm
It's
well.
good.
How about you guys?
Good, good. Yeah, we're just having a little thing and a little chat. I was talking about my plans for the channel, if anybody's interested in it. And it was
What are your plans for the channel? I missed that part.
okay. Okay, move that chat post. Hold on. There you go.
Sorry to make you repeat it.
There you go. Yep. Right. So the thing is, what I've done is I set up a Patreon page, and it's £5 a month. And what it is, I'm reviewing a book of historical events or historical people. You'll have the chance of winning a book and a little gift with it too.
Nice.
So yeah, it's only
When are you gonna start
£5 more. Well, I've set that Patreon now. So the next raffle we'll do is we're going to see the raffle there, and it'll be the end of September, and there'll be a small cash gift as well as a book there. The more people join, the higher the cash gift could be. It's like I'm giving back to the people who subscribed, and the people who want to join the Patreon, I'm giving back to them, so you have a chance of doing it. You know, I'm trying to make the channel grow.
And we're listening to historical books.
Yeah, I mean, the book I'm reading so far is a book by John Kelly, and it's called The Graves Are Walking, and it's a history of the Great Irish Famine.
Oh, cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a small, talk about the book and what I think of it, on an honest review, and the people who do join the Patreon will have a chance of getting this book and like I say, a small cash gift.
That sounds
cool.
good. Yeah. Now, in
That's really
case anybody is wondering, £5 British is $6.35 American.
Actually, it's
Is
$5.
anyone else having a hard time hearing Liz? That's
I'm
just
sorry,
me?
Megan. What?
Hi. I couldn't hear
Let's see
you
if
at
I
all.
can change this. Yeah. Oh no, we don't want that one. I'm trying to find out what's the best so people can see better, you know? Yeah, so I think that'd be a good idea. It also gives back to people who on the Patreon there. So it's not money for nothing. There is a chance of getting something back.
Oh, Megan's got her cat.
Oh,
cool.
you're going off, Cooch. You know, mate, you look after yourself, and I'll speak to you soon. You take care, mate. You know, anytime you think, anytime you need something to chat, just send us a message. You know, we'll be there for you, man.
Yeah. Take care, Chooch.
Yeah. You know, but yeah. So I was just putting that idea past, and I was thinking, what people think of that, and also I'd like to know what people would like to see from this channel too.
Well, I think
Yeah, I mean, it's something, you know.
And I'm
ahead,
trying
Liz,
to
I'm
stay
sorry.
away. Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. I was just going to say that I think you're on the right road, just giving people a chance to come to a drama-free zone because so much of the other channels are nothing but, and
Yeah.
people need a break,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean it, mate. Anytime you just send us a message if you need to scream and shout or just have a chat. You know, I'll be there for you, mate. Oh, Cooch, what you doing, man? All right,
How
my
are you
babe.
handling this
Dagmar,
teeth?
yeah, you take it easy
I'm
too.
sorry, I
Enjoy
can't
your
hear Liz
sleep.
at all. I'm gonna fix my
Yeah.
mic. Probably me.
Okay. And next time I see you tomorrow, have my coffee ready. So yeah, Dagmar, it's always a pleasure to have you on here. You know, you just have a good night's sleep and take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon, my babe. You know,
Yep.
have a good sleep. Yeah. So, what do you think about? What would you like to see from the channels, you two?
Hold on, I'm gonna just turn down the volume here.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. What would you like to see from this channel?
I think the history sounds good.
I do
yeah,
too. I
No
love
drama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I made that 100% clear. Even I'm getting tired of it now. I don't want the drama. I'm
Yeah.
trying to stay away from it. I don't want to see anybody. I would like to see more of Megan too. You know, that sounds a bit wrong. No, I'd like to see more of Megan on this channel. Yeah. So yeah. I don't want any of the drama. I'm trying to stay away. I don't want any soccer accounts, any soccer accounts or anything like that. Anything to cause a bit of hassle is just going to be taken away. You know.
That's
I don't know,
good.
Megan.
Yeah, just
Just made it perfect. How dare you? How dare
What?
you say that accusation, sir? That's an accusation and a half. I wasn't being pervy. I was being a good boy. Honest.
That wasn't meant to be pervy. God.
Yeah.
This is my
Terrible
call.
accusation.
Paul's mic. I can barely hear you, Liz. I mean, there are times that I'm just like struggling. I turn up the volume, and then Paul starts talking. It's like, bam! I'm like, ah.
Oh,
It's
I'm
jarring.
sorry. I don't know.
It's not your fault. No, you don't. You don't know what you sound like when you're on when you're streaming.
Well, and I'm not.
That's normal. I have no idea. I have no idea how loud my mic is.
I can hear Liz. Yeah, I can hear Liz pretty well.
I'm not used to coming through on StreamYard because Ben always uses Discord. So I'm better at adjusting things in Discord than I am in StreamYard. So I apologize if I'm.
That's so funny. Most people are the opposite. See, Paul,
I
I
know.
think you can hear Liz well because you don't have you talking really loud in your ear. So you can have the volume at whatever you want.
Oh,
I have to have
is
the
my
volume
volume
lowered
loud?
a little bit because you're blasting. What?
Is my volume loud?
I think it's
much
great,
better
but
now.
I've got old ears.
It's usually, hold on. It's usually
Sorry
because
if
I've
I
got.
messed that up for
Yeah.
anyone else.
It's because I brought these
Yeah.
brand new headphones the other month, and they're working. They're like the ones they use for businesses. You know, when they talk on the telephone.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, they're pretty good that way. Pretty good for speaking through on here.
Well, I don't use
I'm-
headphones, so I'm just talking straight into a laptop mic.
Yeah,
So
see, your
I
volume
went-
goes in and out. Like right there, you were really, really quiet. But I don't know if it's just me. You guys let me know
Yeah.
in the chat.
Um,
Hi, Chelsea,
Liz,
May,
is your
Dagmar, Kane, all y'all.
yeah. Is your volume turned all the way up
Where?
on your mic? On your settings? Are you using a laptop or phone?
Yeah, I'm using a laptop.
Okay, so have you checked your settings? Have you
You're
checked
able to check that
your
too,
mic
Paul.
levels?
Yeah,
What?
the last I checked, they were very
Okay,
high.
hold on. Let me see my sound. Okay, headset. My volume isn't all that high in my headset.
See settings.
It's good.
It's on
It's
a
fine.
yeah, it's on a 5.
It's just me then.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I just checked it and it was on a 5 there. So
It's all good. Do you guys hear my air conditioner in the background?
I can't.
no, I can't. No.
Nice. That's good. Because it is hot outside. It's not quite at the peak yet. My thing only says 96 right now. It's supposed to go up another 8 degrees.
Yeah, so I could tell you something else too. When I get my my mic for my video cam, because I'm going to buy an external mic for it too, and I've got to buy a battery charger with another battery. It's always good to have batteries. I'm going to do my
Yes.
home near my hometown first. We do a bit like an historical thing. And we're going to go to London. I'm going to go to London. You need to start covering, yeah, Trump's indictments. Oh, I will do that. That is yes. Oh, you know what? I'll put a post down on the community page, and we'll do this next Tuesday. We'll do it next Tuesday. It'd be good to have a discussion about that. But so what I'm going to do is, it's going to sound really weird. So we're going to go to London. Then we're coming back to when you're going to come back from London to show you this route. It's like an historical route for the British Army. We're going to go sort of to show you how the British Army travelled to the time to where I was from, and we're going to go have a walk through the town and going to go up near the army barracks and have a think about that and see some of the old buildings and see the old hospital and stuff like that. You know. Also, I want to get back. I want to do
That's
like
cool. 'Cause, I mean, it's
yeah. And I want to do the talking about the local legends and about the ghosts there too.
that would be cool. Yeah, I used to live on a haunted island.
Yeah. Well, I think I worked in a barracks. I was a chef in a barracks once, and I was in the larder. And from the larder room, used to look into because it was a big army kitchen, so they had to have the stores offices and the main stores. And from the larder, you could see straight into the actual storeroom. And we used to wear just white jackets and just like cow printed chef's trousers. So they'd be black and white with like cow prints on them. And
yeah, Stetson.
Yep, hold on. Yep, I'll think. So I looked into the storeroom and I see the chef. He was really smartly dressed, which wasn't not us. He had a tall French chef's hat on, and he wore blue checked trousers, tight checked. I recognise uniform anyway because my dad used to wear that uniform. Now it's ex-army catering corps uniform, and they always used to wear the tall French style hats. And I went to my head chef at the time, and I went, Dave, who's that chef in the storeroom? Because we used to have lots of ex-army chefs working for us because it was an army camp. Because it was mass catering, feeding 500 to 600 people. And he goes,
yeah.
What's chef in the storeroom, Paul? And I went, there was a chef standing there. And he said, what did he look like? And I explained what he looked like. And he said, "Oh, you seen the kitchen ghost?" And he was just standing there, looking at the food items, looking at like the tins and stuff like that in the storeroom.
Yeah.
It was just
Is it
really
common to
weird.
see him?
Some chefs have seen him. Some have seen him. There's other things. I was a kitchen porter in a sergeant's mess. I went to the toilet. I was the only person in there. Nobody can get into the kitchen area and the storeroom, and
Hmm.
nobody could get into there. So I was in the toilet, and then suddenly I thought I seen that. That sort of threw me off a bit.
It's like, wait, what was that?
Yes, like wow. And I heard somebody walking up the corridor, and I refused to go back into that kitchen until the chef came because I was the only person in that kitchen. I refused to leave that kitchen. He goes, "What are you doing out there?" I said, "I've been waiting for like an hour and a half." He goes, "Why?" I said to him, and he started laughing at me, and he went, "You stupid idiot!" I said, "No, there was somebody there. I heard somebody walking." It's
Yeah.
quite common in army barracks because you know they just leave their energies about, don't they? People leave their energies about, and lots of people went through this barracks. It wasn't really an old one, but it was old enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's usually lots of ghosts around barracks. We have Civil War barracks out on Catalina Island, and
Yes.
the captain's house. There's a woman in white that would walk from the captain's house up onto the hill where the Banning House Lodge is, and
Hmm.
just you'd see her, but then when you focus, you can't see her. And they had a ghost cat.
No.
Nice. I've got
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
into
so that
this. I'm
was
sorry, I've
weird.
got to cut
Yeah,
the
ghost
ghost.
cat.
Yeah, I've got to cut the ghost stories off for a little second. Brian said, "Do I listen to James O'Brien?" No, I really don't. I think he's a self-righteous prick, and he needs to stop.
Whoa. Gotcha.
I really don't like him.
I've never listened to him
No.
either.
No, he's some of the things he says can be spot on, but otherwise he just berates people for not believing what he says. He's a terrible person.
What network?
Not
One of
Where is
those
he
types.
broadcast from?
yes. Do you know what, Kane Corsa? I have been many places. Uh, lots of people do, Brian, but I just really don't. I think he's a self-righteous champagne socialist who needs to get his fucking head together. That's my personal view.
Tell how you really
But
feel.
yeah, I do. As Kane Corsa says, sometimes I have been in places where I have seen things and other people haven't. Like I said, I came from a military area. I was in this with a group of mates, and I just happened to look up and I seen this person wearing like this brown jacket, a white shirt, and white trousers. And I looked 1 minute, and next thing he had gone. But he couldn't run up because there was no path, so we would have heard him running up the way. He didn't go past us. He couldn't have went the other way,
Mm.
and right next to him was a pit full of broken barbed wire, metal, and stuff like that.
Mm.
It was just really weird. I just seen this person standing there, and I was the only person to see him.
Now,
And
Paul,
when I got back home, somebody had somebody staying with us, and he went to me. He goes, "Paul," and I went, "Yeah." He goes, "You've looked like you've just seen a ghost," and I went, "I think I have," and because it was I was a bit of I was a bit religious at that point. We sat down and prayed.
well, that's never a bad thing.
Did it help?
No, it's never a bad thing. No, it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but we just sat down and we all prayed together.
Well, can I ask you a question? When I've never seen anything like that. I must be the most insensitive person to that kind of stuff in the world. So
No,
my
no, you're
question
quite.
is,
Yep.
well, my question is, when you see these, are they solid people? Do they look as real as you or I, or are they ethereal looking? Like misty or
That is a very good question, Liz. Most I see things, the way I describe it is like watching a videotape.
okay.
If you can imagine like an 80s videotape.
So does that mean they're fuzzy, Paul? I'm not sure.
Some of the things I see are fuzzy. Some of the things are not.
Okay.
Some of the things I see is solid. The one time I
Okay.
seen a solid thing, I was standing at a train station. And of course, most of our train stations are really old here. They're from the Victorian times.
Okay.
And I was at this popular one. It's the one you catch a train to go to London with. It's one of the main train stations for the south. And I heard the announcement on the speaker system, and I turned round and I seen a bloke. He had his back to me, but I can tell you what he's wearing. He was wearing a Victorian dinner suit. He's wearing a cane. He wore a top hat,
Wow.
and he had a cape. You don't
Wow.
see those things at this place at 2 o'clock in the 90s, 2 o'clock in PM.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was hailing the train. Again, turned round and he just disappeared out of sight.
You didn't see him disappear. You just looked back and he was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's spooky. I've never
That
ever
is spooky.
experienced anything like that. Never.
I've also worked in a pub. This is one of the pub. It was built in the 1500s. And I was the only person to live in that pub at that point. So I came down to work and I went through because I had to go through the back door, go through the left corridor, go through the back door, go down the steps into the actual pub. And so I looked at all the pub and I came down the stairs and everything was looked up. And I was talking to the landlord, talking to my boss, and suddenly we heard these footsteps. It was heavy footsteps. Landlord goes, "Is anybody up in that thing?" I said, "No, I just came back down." And he goes, "Well, go and have a look." I said, "Why me?" He goes, "Because you fucking live there." Next thing you know, he pushed me up because there used to be a stairs up from the pub. You used to go into the pub, then you'd be stairs up to the pub too, up to the floor. It pushed me through the pub door. He locked the pub door so I couldn't get back down. I had to go through up the stairs and go through the corridor again and back down the stairs. So if there was anybody in that pub, I would have got a beating. So I had to go all the way up and come back down. But you're very welcome, mate. And there was nobody there, but just heard these footsteps.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, that stuff's creepy.
Oh, Brian. That's scary.
There is another one I'd like to do. I'm not too sure if I can do it though. I'd like to do a video about what was the world's biggest cemetery.
And where was that? Was that in England somewhere?
Yeah, it is in England. It's in a place
Do you
near
know the
me.
answer to that
And,
already?
yeah, it was bigger than New York at one point.
Wow.
It had 2 train stations going into it. They used to deliver the dead by train from London, from Waterloo to this train station.
Wow. Okay.
And it's just full of graves. It's got a massive war grave section, and it's got another section, and a road cuts through it, a main road.
Oh wow. Is it still active?
Yeah, it's still active. One of the
Okay.
most famous people to be buried there was Dodi El Fayed.
Oh my gosh. There's a name at least that I recognize. Okay.
Yeah, Dodi El Fayed was buried there. I'll tell you who else was too. Let me have a look this up. Okay, famous graves in this graveyard. Okay, here's a name you'll think. There's a guy. Have you ever heard of Dr. Robert Knox?
No.
Have you ever heard of Burke and Hare?
No.
The Body Snatchers.
Oh.
Well, I've heard of them.
Yeah, the doctor who brought the cadavers from them is buried there.
Okay.
You know,
Alright.
there's lots of Arabian people buried there too, and sirs and physicians. It was there's the Duchess of Argyll who's buried there.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay. So the British royalty are all buried in the churches, right? Am I wrong about that? Like Westminster?
yeah, the High Royalty is Westminster Abbey. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're buried there in a
Yeah.
crypt.
Yeah. Well, and some of the castles maybe as well, or maybe I'm wrong about that.
I'm not too sure. Not too sure. You need to Google it, Liz.
Yeah, I should.
If you're
If I
interested in
ever-
this, yeah, just
Yeah.
Google it.
If I ever got to England, one of the things I'd love to do, and I don't know if you even have them, but I'd love to do a countrywide castle tour. You know.
Oh, Liz, there's too many castles. Hey,
Well,
hey, Tommy, how's it going, mate?
There must be
Hold on.
some tours of some of them, though.
Oh, they do tours, Liz, but there's so
Yeah.
many castles here. You'd be here for an
Yeah.
age doing that type of tour.
Well, I'm not saying I'd have to see all of them, but I'd like to see the more famous ones, right? You know.
Oh, yeah, but there's still lots of famous ones too, because you're
Yeah.
not talking about England. You're talking about England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. You know, and
Well,
you're talking about the Isle of Man too.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't get that. I wouldn't get that involved, my friend.
Yeah. So hold
That
on.
would-
Let me. I think.
Why is that one making say no and cringe?
Yeah. Yeah. So how's it going, Tommy, mate? Hope you're well. Oh,
yeah,
also
actually,
this I tell you, this is this cemetery I wanted to talk about. As I said, my dad was in the army, and he was just in the army camp up from there, and the squaddies used to cut across the cemetery sometimes, you know. And these are the guys that have had served tours in Ireland and done other little bits of stuff. My dad said some of them wouldn't even go in this cemetery at night. They've seen women crying over people's graves and stuff like that, and they've just really freaked them out in the cemetery too. So it'd be good. It's also cemeteries known locally for witchcraft. People used to do the witchcraft there too.
Yeah, you guys have a history of like the pagans and
Yeah.
witchcraft and all that, right?
Yeah, yeah, we do.
That's cool.
Good, mate. Yeah, that's good, mate. Good. Well, I hope you're well there, Tommy, mate. Yeah, yeah, we had all this type of stuff there, you know. We all got this. Well, look at Stonehenge. That's a pagan tool,
Hmm.
you know. And there's other henges. Everybody, that's not the only henge in Britain.
Oh yeah. You got
There's
a lot
loads
of
of
them,
other
I suppose.
henges.
Yeah.
That's the most famous one. But there's other henges that are older. You know.
Yeah, before Stonehenge, there was Woodhenge and Strawhenge, and
Yeah.
Big Bad Wolf came bloom down.
Yes. Yeah. So it's even henges near me. There's where I lived. There's a place called Cockadobby Hill,
I've heard of that.
and that was named after the goblin that lived there. Because Dobby being an old English word for elf. And on this hill, there's ancient barrows too.
That's pretty cool.
And just down the road from it, there's a place was called Bagman's Castle, and that was where Dick Turpin was supposed to have had one of his hideouts. If you heard of Dick Turpin,
Name sounds familiar.
he was the guy. He's the guy who don't know how to stand and deliver your money or your life. He was a famous highwayman.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar. Oh. Oh.
And if you're into Adam
Cool.
and the Ant dressed up as like him, you know? If you remember Adam and the Ants.
Nope.
Oh man, I'm
Don't
showing my
remember.
age. They had a song called Stand and Deliver Your Money or Your Life.
I just looked up Stonehenges, and it says that the oldest in the world are in Anatolia, Turkey. So that's
Well,
interesting.
yeah, there's loads of henges, like I said. But Stonehenge being the most famous one, but it's not the oldest one in Britain. There's other henges older than Britain, and they're in Scotland.
Yeah, and I was trying to see if there were.
It
any
makes
in
me think of
America.
Eddie Izzard stand up.
Okay, which head is that one? Is that
Dressed to
where?
Kill.
Okay.
Dressed to Kill is where he's
Paul.
the one who said there before before Stonehenge, there's Woodhenge and Strawhenge. He's like,
Okay, I don't know that one. I liked the one when he said.
I can't. Oh, that's
Yeah,
my favorite one. That's the only one I really know.
I liked his one where he talked about sticking a flag, how we conquered the world.
Oh,
We just
yeah.
stuck a flag.
But do you have a flag?
that?
No flag.
Yeah,
in the
do you
country.
have
Can't have one.
Yeah.
And
And
the
he
rules
talks
that
about
I
the church.
just made up.
Yeah, he talks about the Church of England. Would you like tea and cake
Yeah,
or
he puts
death?
all that in his
Oh,
Dressed to Kill bit too. Mhm.
yeah,
Tea
I
and
think I'll
cake or
take tea and
death.
cake. Yeah.
I'll take the
Or
chicken,
I'd-
please. Taste of humans. If you guys haven't seen Eddie Izzard, it's hilarious. I think it was back in the 90s.
Have you seen the Star? Or was it the Death
Was the
Star
one I'm
Canteen?
thinking of.
Have you seen
Oh,
that
yes.
one?
Oh, no. Yeah, I saw it with you up here. Yeah. You told me about it and I looked it up.
Yeah, the Death Star. They had to have a canteen. Darth Vader walks in. The Penne Arrabbiata. You have to speak.
It only worked because Darth Vader had that James Earl Jones voice. When it really worked, it was like, hello.
Yeah. Hello, Gov. Actually, was going to
Hello.
before the James Earl Jones. They actually had a Cornish man playing Darth Vader, who's voicing him, and they just didn't like the voice, so they got James Earl Jones to do the voice.
It's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Megan.
I'm actually.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Paul.
I don't know. You carry on. You said Megan.
I just wanted to ask her a quick question. How long a drive is it for you if you were to go to Goldendale in Washington?
I don't
very
know where
far?
Goldendale is. Is it on the other
It's,
side of Seattle?
Oh no, it's down by the Columbia, somewhere. I'm
Well,
not
then less than
100%
3 hours.
sure. Okay, well there's a Stonehenge replica there. Have you ever seen it? Because I have not
Really?
either. Yeah.
No. It looks isolated.
Yeah, it does. But
Clicky tack.
it's got a Goldendale address. I'm gonna have
That's up by the gorge. That's not too far.
Yeah.
That's not too
Yeah.
far from me then.
It's probably
'Cause,
closer
yeah,
to you than it is to me.
obviously
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the gorge.
Right. Yeah.
Have you got Treasure Gorge over there too?
Columbia River Gorge?
We've got
yes,
gorges
between
everywhere.
Oregon
Yeah.
but we're talking about the one, but the Columbia River runs part of the border between Washington and
Goes up to
Oregon State.
Canada,
Yeah.
back down into the States. Yeah. It's It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Not quite the Mississippi, but it's
No, it's not. But
um
or even the Colorado, but it's still pretty big.
because
Yeah.
I would love to check that out.
Yeah, me too. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to know if you knew about it because I had heard about it, but I've never looked into it. So I'm not sure how long a drive. It would probably be 4 or 5 hours for me at least.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, you're closer
Two and a half
than me.
hours from
That would be a fun trip. I'm gonna have to consider that.
that would be. You should come down. Let's see, Seattle.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm sorry, Paul. I
Oh, no, don't be
digress.
sorry.
Seattle
Don't
is
be
is
sorry.
3.5 hours. And that's
Okay,
that's right
so
now. So we're including 3 o'clock traffic.
yeah, and I'm not sure
I mean,
which
I just did
freeway
up
is the best way
directions.
down there. Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
don't know
takes
if
the
it's
90 and the 97.
oh, okay. So the 90 to go east
Mainly
and
the 97.
97 to go south. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't have to
For
go
me, it's the
I-5.
84.
Okay, I gotcha. So
Mm-mm.
there's got to be a bridge close by for you if the river's because of the river. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
tons of bridges. And it's the
Yeah.
city of bridges.
Shoot, we should meet up there sometime. That would be fun.
That would be rad. hmm
Yeah, it would.
Golden Vale is Stonehenge. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a replica. I don't know how long it's been there. I need to
Oh,
read up on it.
Mary Hill, Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
That's
That's
in
what
way
it's
better
called.
shape.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so 1918. Yeah, 1918. It's a memorial to World War One,
Oh, okay.
and completed in 1929.
Uh, who said you were invited, Brian? Brian says Brian says he's gonna
Brian might
pop
be a little
me
bit
off
further
with
than 3.5 hours.
smokes and lattes. Yeah. Be a little twerp.
Liz can come to the bar with us. We need a designated driver, anyways.
That's true.
Just
You're
kidding.
right. I'm always good for that.
No, I mean,
That's
not
it.
all
Use people
non-drinkers
there.
don't.
That's what
What?
we like to hear. Designated driver.
Yep. Well, if the
Yeah,
bar had
I'm doing the 90-day challenge with my. Uh-huh.
if they had
Go ahead.
what do you call them? The fruity drinks. I'm having a senior moment. Not a Mai Tai,
There's
the other
many,
ones.
many of them.
Daiquiri.
But like a
Strawberry,
daiquiri.
strawberry daiquiri, man. I can put those down. Unfortunately, still,
Also
if
$7,
I let myself.
whether they have alcohol or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure you can get virgin versions
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. It's making me bloody thirsty too. The women talking about drinking. Typical. They're taking over my channel.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A fuzzy navel. Yes, fuzzy navels for everybody.
I don't know what that's got grapefruit juice, right? Doesn't it?
A fuzzy navel's from Shrek. Was it Shrek 2? Of Prince Charming? Yeah,
Well,
Shrek 2,
I-
Prince
Fuzzy
Charming.
Navels have been around for a long time.
Yeah, I think they've
Yeah,
been out there
no.
forever.
It just reminds me of Shrek when they ever hear see fuzzy navel because Prince Charming walks into the bar, everybody looks at him, ready to kill him, and he goes, "Yes, fuzzy navel, please, and fuzzy navels for everybody."
I don't remember that. I haven't watched that movie or any of them in a million years.
Uncle T and 20. Who's this?
I don't know.
How
I was
about
just
not
noticing
spamming?
it.
Yeah, how about not spamming, mate? 'Cause that's the quickest way to get yourself taken off this channel.
Yeah, well, time me out if you continue spamming. Let's just consider it a warning
Yeah.
or not.
No, Brian took
No,
care
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, you're in timeout, mate.
Damn, Brian's like
Thank
no
you very
warnings. No,
much.
it's not
Yeah.
timeout. There's more timeout.
You got
No,
that
he
trigger
was,
Yeah,
he
finger.
was.
You know what?
Damn, Brian. We used to give people a warning, let them, fix their actions, and then time them out, and then
Yeah,
block
he's
them.
gone.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of blocking. So
Yep. Thank you very much, Brian. He's gone now.
Here we go.
No fuzzy navels for Michael. Boo.
Oh shoot.
Boo boo.
The last time I tried to drink anything was a limoncello, and it was at Walt Disney World, and I couldn't even get an eighth of the way down on it. It was so strong, and I haven't had anything since. That was I don't know, 12 years ago, probably.
Well, last time I had a drink, I drank 13 cans of Budweiser.
Oh, bless your heart, dude. That's
And
a
they're
lot
not
of.
like, they're not the little cans. They're like 440
the tall
milliliters
boys.
cans. Something like that, yeah. Yeah, I had 13 of them.
When
It's not
was
my
that?
best. Oh, it's just because it's the day my mum passed away and I just needed a drink and just to release.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
But yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I could do like 24 cans.
I see.
Yeah.
I can't drink beer like that. It's just too sloshy. Just too much. It's too foamy. I feel it in my belly, and I'm just like, oh, I just feel nasty.
Yeah. I used to go to the pub at 11 o'clock in the morning, come out at 12 o'clock at night.
That's excessive.
12 o'clock in the morning.
11 o'clock in the morning, Liz.
11 o'clock in the morning, and stay till
Yes.
That's what time
midnight.
bars open, Liz.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know by me.
I must have drunk 16 to 18 pints.
I can tell you all the Starbucks hours.
It's not the same, Liz. It's not the same.
No, I know. Nobody cares but me. I know.
Yeah, it's I got told off by an ex too. She threatened to come down to the pub and drag me out by the hair.
Okay.
She was not impressed, and she did not speak to me. I went all the way down to the south coast to see her too, and she did not refuse. She tried to that's understandable, Brian, but I'm too selfish enough to do that. Yeah, so she said no man should go into a pub for that long. You're terrible. If I was there, I'd drag you up by the hair. So I had to go down and see her the next couple of days, and she refused to see me. So I waited outside the place where she was for like 3 hours.
I bet you were in trouble.
Oh yes, I was. Yes.
Can I ask you a dumb question, Paul?
Yes, far away.
Okay. Well, I don't know. My question is, does this happen at your pubs? Because over here in bars, if people have had too much to drink, the bars, the bartender or whoever will stop serving them. They'll draw a line in the sand and say
They're held accountable.
Yeah, you've had too
Yes.
much. I won't give you any more. Does that happen in an English pub?
Oh yeah, it does, Liz. It does. I mean, I've been chucked out of a pub for having too much to drink. It happens.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just wondering because you were there for so long.
It's just that I had a good alcohol tolerance, and this is, I had a good alcohol tolerance, and I used to work in this pub.
Oh, well, that would make a difference too, probably. Yeah, they knew you very well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was with people who knew me. I know.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, and my ex was not happy with me, and she was not a person to be messing around with.
Okay,
understandably so.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a temper on her, and she would let me know it, and she'd tell me off all the time.
Well, I guess
Not
that's
like I
better
was a
than
not like it was
to
a bad
be.
thing. I mean,
Yeah, no,
when I
it's
was going out, yeah.
better to be upfront. I'm passive aggressive, so I
So
would
yeah,
never.
so when I was going out with her, I wasn't really supposed to be going out with her. We had to do it on the quiet because the people were trying to. I had lots of threats, and so she had to feel she was she was sick one day, and I went and got her like a dozen roses and a box of chocolates, and gave her their. I also brought her stuff too, and I remember one time I got a B&B down the coast, and she said I fancy some chips, and I went all right, and I forgot the key, and I went to the chippy. I got the chips and everything, and the heavens opened. And literally, heavens did open, and I was soaked to the skin.
Uh-oh.
And I'm on the phone going, "Can you open the door?" And she looked down at me. She said, "Why?" I said, "Just open the door." She looked, and you just seen me there. It was drip. I was dripping wet. I was soaked to the skin, and just had these chips. She said that was really romantic of me to do that.
Yes, it was. It was very sweet.
Yes.
Kind of gestures
Yeah.
I never hardly ever got.
Then my next girlfriend started to blame me for being pregnant, and the baby wasn't mine. So it
I'm
swings
not
and
gonna.
roundabouts.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, not gonna. Megan can if
Yeah.
she wants to, but I'm not gonna.
No. She said to me she had a miscarriage, so I had to go through the feelings of having a baby being miscarried, and then she said, "Don't worry, there was a twin, and she miscarried the twin, and the other baby was still alive." She chucked me out of the house on Christmas night, and I ended up spending my time in a flat because I had a flat then, but had no furniture and nothing like that, no bedding, no nothing, no blankets or anything like that. So I had Christmas dinner in the Salvation Army. They got me home, and I spent in the empty flat when it was -16 with just a sleeping bag and my duffel bag as a pillow.
Oh, good Lord, man.
I had no money for food, so I had to go without food for 4 or 5 days. All I can
Oh,
survive, I had bits to survive on, was enough to buy like biscuits or something like that, because I didn't have nothing to keep food. I didn't have nothing to cook food. Yeah.
sad.
Damn.
Yeah. I've also spent time in a pub with no roof. I didn't have no money then neither.
Wait. A pub with no roof?
Yep, I slept in a pub with no roof.
Why did the pub not
Is it
have
like
a
a
roof?
old pub, like closed down, or?
Yeah, it was closed down. Somebody nicked the slates from the roof
Oh, good Lord.
because they're old slates. You can get money for old slate.
Oh, gosh. So an abandoned building, basically, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. I've also
Well,
lived in I've also lived in night shelters.
yeah, yeah, sounds rough, dude.
Well, it is. There's people have it worse, Liz. There's people have it worse. The good
Yeah,
thing
but
is about the good thing is about me is I didn't have any dependency on drug or alcohol,
right,
so I could get myself out of the situation quicker.
right. I got
Yeah,
you.
so that's what happened, and I ended up having heart failure, ended up in hospital. Then I found out I need a major heart operation, and then I took a small breakdown and ended up here.
That is quite the journey. I have to.
Yeah, there is that. I
I have
mean,
to
there's
say.
also like I said in my other podcast, we had to switch a life support machine off my mother. I stayed with my mother because my dad ran away. My dad left my mum with 2 grandkiddies to raise. And I haven't had a place of my own to live with. So I've always travelled around and lived where I worked.
Gotcha. I've
Because
always
being a
stayed.
chef, yeah,
Yeah, I've always
becau-
stayed in one place because of where I work. So it was the
no,
opposite for me.
I could tell you, from the age of 19, I hitchhiked it 400 odd miles to Glasgow from where I am. That took me
Wow.
27 hours. I also I have lived on an island in Scotland. I've lived in Manchester. I've lived in Oldham. I've lived in a forest. I've lived in a village in Dorset. I lived in a small village in Surrey. I've also lived in other little places. I've done a weekend in London. I've just been travelled around a little bit.
And Megan has too. Megan's been around to a lot of places, and from what she's told me, I've
Hmm.
pretty much just been where I've been.
Yeah, you know, it's it's what people do to survive, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're switching jobs, yeah, I never switched jobs, so it was never something I had to do.
Hmm. And
Right?
plus, what was good about me because I was a chef, he used to get live-in jobs. So one
Oh,
day, if I got
okay.
sick and tired of one job, I'd go, "All right, I'm going to leave this job," and the next day, I was in Scotland.
Yeah,
It was like, yeah. So you get lots of experiences, lots of fun experiences, and you meet lots of
yeah,
different people and from
yeah,
ways of life. You know,
yeah. I envy that. I stayed in one place, and one of the things about working for a large company like I did is that if you got bored on one program or in one job, you could switch to another program or job within the company and still not have to move anywhere or uproot your life in any way.
yeah,
Um, right. So that's how I kept it fresh. I went from one program to another, but I ended up working with a lot of the same people over and over again. I didn't always get to meet a lot of new people sometimes, but if you stayed on defense work, you worked with a lot of the same people. So yeah, I envy that both of you have traveled around and worked. I mean, Megan's job, that job she had down on oh, you're gonna have to tell me, Megan, what island it was. The harbor job.
Catalina.
Yeah, I mean that to me is
Hmm.
fascinating. That
Did you
that
ever
would have
go to
been
the Catalina wine mixer?
We had our own
Sorry,
wine fest on the other side of the island.
I was just doing a Step Brothers quote. I was just doing a Step Brothers quote. When everybody
You threw
says
got the MF
Catalina,
word in
always
there.
get yeah, yeah. It's the mother ducking Catalina wine mixer.
and I've never even been to Catalina,
But
right?
what
I
was that?
mean,
What was that like there? You know, what's that island like?
It is very different. I mean, the side of the island I lived on is very rural. No paved roads, no street lights, nothing like that. A population of 150 when I first got there, and then it went down to 100 by the time I left. But in the summertime, we doubled our population and had a shitload of tourists there. So it was
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
see,
I
I
loved
can
it. I was
relate
there
to
for
that.
10
Yeah,
years.
I can relate to that because I lived and worked in an island in Scotland, and it was the Isle of Arran. And that too was a tourist island. It would have a small population in the non-season months. When the seasonal months came along, it just boomed. You know,
Right.
you'd get all the yachts and
I
you'd
was
get
pretty.
all the shipping. Sorry, Megan.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, so you get all the yachts, and every 7:30 in the morning on the time, I'd get waken up to a ship's horn going off as I was going past the island. And we'd go there, and if you went to the other side, the island there, they had there's a small island off of it called the Holy Island, and it's the Dalai Lama owns that island, and there's a small Buddhist temple there.
Oh wow.
And
Owns the whole
you could,
island. He owns the whole island.
yeah, he owns a small. It's a small island. It's not massive. It's a small, but it's got.
Okay.
He owns a temple there, and it's called the Holy Island. And you get the Buddhist monks sometimes come to the other island,
Wow.
and you can go salmon. You can go fishing in the North Sea, or and I don't remember. Is it in the North Sea, or is it the? Was it the Mulligan Tyre? Well, you go fishing in the sea anyway.
Right.
And you can go see it, and you're lucky. One time I did see it. We seen the Royal Navy do some exercises from their
Oh, that would
ships.
be cool. Yeah.
One of the chefs reportedly seen one of the nuclear submarines going past the island. We
That would be
remember,
cool too.
yeah, remember one time we were working in the kitchen, and of course he got the big extractor fans all going on, and they lead out to the outside. Suddenly we heard this big massive roar, and it just travelled down all these extractor fans, and we all hit the dirt or the floor. And it was somebody said it was an RAF tornado flying by. You know? So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So that was my experience living on the island, and we all lived in staff accommodation. And every time we finished, we would all go to one room, and suddenly you'll be sitting in a circle, and there'd be like 3 or 4 little little cigarettes passing around. And so, somebody'd bring the beer, and somebody'd bring a glass of wine, and we'll be just chilling and chatting, just relieving the stress of the day.
Is marijuana legal over there yet or not, Paul?
Liz, I thought you would have guessed when I said cigarettes.
I did guess, dear. That's why I asked if
She-
it's legal there or not yet.
Yes. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's a Class B.
Okay. Wasn't sure. That's
It wasn't
why.
legal when I lived on the island. That the cops knew not to not to do anything about it. In fact, one of the sheriffs got kicked off the island for trying to enforce the law. It's like if you take the weed away from the islanders, you're gonna have a lot of clear-eyed, bitchy people. And the biggest weed dealer, he lived right across the street from the sheriff.
Oh
Well-
my gosh.
There was only 2 coppers on this island, and they used to finish at a certain time, so there was a lot of drink driving and a lot of drugs going through it. I don't know how about it is now, but that's what it used to be.
Uppers didn't last though. When I first moved there were a couple of tweakers, but it's like
It was just, I'd say it was just a really cool vibe. You get to meet a lot of people from different nationalities, Australians, New Zealand, Irish, and South African. That tended to be, and Polish. And also we
Oh,
had a
wow.
German head chef.
Oh.
There was a German head chef because there was a hotel complex I worked in, and he was the head chef for the Rosette restaurant. I was a chef for just the normal food. So we had fun. There was lots of stories. We used to go to the kitchen and we'd ask the chefs to make us hamburgers. And you go, how many do you want? And one chef goes, put 5 in it. So we're all eating these big massive burgers that we're supposed to pay for, but we didn't.
Did they not have hamburgers on the menu much?
Yeah, they did. They did, Liz. But you know, we were supposed to pay for them.
I gotcha.
But we thought, since we worked there, you know, we could get away with little things.
No, I have memories of KP duty in the kitchens in basic training in the Air Force. And we weren't allowed to cook. But the one thing they did do was they would let us eat whatever we wanted out of the kitchens. So that was the
Well,
one.
yeah, that's the plus. We had this young KP, and we're going to send him to the Rosette restaurant. Sorry, we're going to say we were in the process of sending him to go to the Rosette restaurant and ask for some bearded clam and the hot dog flavored sauce.
Oh Lord. And
yeah, somebody stopped him.
Oh, Paul.
I
Bless your little heart.
was working as a head chef in one place, and hey, Dick and Cider, how's it going, mate? So I was working as head chef in one place, and it was a bit of a busy breakfast. And this young girl came in. She was working upstairs, but she had nothing to do. She goes, "Do you need a hand?" And almost had it covered. And I went, "Do you know what?" And she goes, "What?" I said, "I need a leg of salmon. Can you go in the chiller and look for a leg of salmon?" And she was in the chiller looking for the leg of salmon for about 15 minutes.
Wow.
I had to call her out and I said, "Did you find that leg of salmon?" And she goes, "No." I said, "Did you look properly?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Did you hear what I said?" She goes, "Yeah, leg of salmon." I said, "Say it again." She went, "Leg of," and she was going to kill me. We also had the left-handed
Not
screwdriver
nice to
too.
mess with people.
What's that?
Not nice to mess with people.
It's the kitchens.
I'm just kidding. I know.
I don't know if I
I'll
should
be
tell you
right.
this one. Okay, because I know the one. So, all right, you'll be back, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. So, when I worked in a pub, it was shutting, and they had this person used to come in and always ordered a pint of beer, and you always used to say to me, "Fingers at the bottom of the glass ball."
Fingers at the what?
Bottom of the glass.
I didn't. Oh,
So when holding the beer to pour it, to get your fingers at the bottom. And you always say this every time. So when we were shut the pub,
why?
where you came in and said, "I don't cross contamination. Your fingers at the top. He drinks from the top." And he said, "A pint of
Got
beer,
it.
Paul, and fingers at the bottom." So I got the pint because the pint glasses were down near the thing. So I got the pint glass, and so you couldn't see. I got my hand right in the glass, and I was pushing it all round the glass, smearing the glass and everything with my fingers and all that, pushing my hand in there like that. And I poured him his beer, and I went, "There you go, mate, pint of beer." And I said, "Fingers at the bottom," and he goes, "You're a good lad, Paul. You're a good lad." Little things you do to get people back.
That's good. Gotta make them feel like they're at home.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's what we call pubs in England. It's public houses. You know, because that's where
Yeah,
we lived
yeah.
too. You'd literally go down to work. You're literally working 24 hours a day, really. You know, because you're not leaving the premises. You know,
That makes
the
sense.
shifts I used to do would be about. I used to wake up at 9 o'clock, open the pub for the cleaner come in, then I'd sort out the tills, get dressed, come back, and we'll be ready to be open for 11 o'clock. Then sometimes we're shut at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know?
Yeah, that was the thing about living in a resort town, was that it was
Hmm.
just this, you didn't get to like leave for work, you had to, I mean, I could see my place from here, which was, I mean, it had
Yeah.
its perks too. I had a
Oh,
dog
yeah.
that I could hear her barking from work, and I would get on the radio and I'd change it to a channel that I had a radio on in my place, and I'd be like, Tika, stop, and she would stop barking at work. I mean, it was
Yeah,
nice.
so
I like not having to commute to work. I like my commute was over the beach.
yeah. The only thing is I couldn't get a snow day off of work. It did snow badly one day
Yeah,
where I
snow is
worked
really
once.
awful.
Yeah. It did snow badly where I worked, and I went downstairs and I went to the boss. Do I get a snow day? And he said, no, fuck off. Go back to work.
The kids on the island, they got mud days.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. I wouldn't
Yeah,
think
it
mud
was just
days at all.
I mean, they even had this well, it's just that they couldn't cross the island to the school.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The school was on the only town really on the island is well, I guess it's a city technically, but it doesn't feel like a city. But regardless, the students would take this like short bus that was all tricked out with these huge all-terrain tires and go across the island. It would take them like an hour and a half. They would leave at 5 o'clock in the morning. That sounded like it sucked. But yeah, they get mud days because there are parts of the island you just can't cross when it's wet. It
I
is
have
Southern
never
California, so
heard
it's
of
not
mud
awful.
days. Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's funny.
Yeah, well,
No,
yeah.
I can see that.
Most places have paved roads.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
One
That's
place
funny.
where I worked for 2 weeks, I was in a small not a village, but a hamlet in Oxfordshire. And all this hamlet was this one pub, and we had to walk along the dual carriageway to get to a place, to get to a shop. And there was nothing. And I left that job. I didn't even get paid for that job. I just ran away from there.
Well, yeah, you
I
said
said,
2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah, I said to the boss, I said, look, I can't do this. I'm going to leave. And he goes, well, you can't leave. You're giving us you're having the 2 weeks, you're on these weeks trials. And I went, but I don't want to be here. And you can't force me. He goes, well, you can't leave. So somebody gave me like £35 to £40. And me and this Hungarian bloke just done a runner from our rooms. It was like the Great Escape, but the Wish.com version. With our suitcases running down the road to catch the bus. Got on the bus, ended up at Oxford train station. We said goodbye to each other because he was going one way and I was going another, and I just ended up going back home. You know.
You guys have lived far more colorful and adventuresome lives than I have. That's for sure. Both of you.
Nothing wrong with your life, though. I mean, you did important work. You have job security and security in your retirement. I mean, that's nice.
Yeah, but it sounds like I didn't have near as much fun as you guys had.
Oh, trust me, Liz. Some of it wasn't fun.
Fun comes with a price.
Yeah.
Well, that could be
Definitely a
true,
price.
I
Fun.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have. There was some bad times too, Liz. There really was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
to leave a job with 2 weeks, not getting paid for 2 weeks.
yeah, that's kind of rough, right? That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. I'm stubborn. I would have stayed as long as it took to get paid, and then I would have taken a powder, maybe.
And plus, sometimes it can be lonely too.
Yeah. Yeah, I can be lonely staying in one place too, but yeah.
Yeah, but when you're moving around, you're not making any proper friends or anything like that because
Right.
you're just moving around. So there is downsides and there's upsides.
Yeah,
So
I get
it's
you.
not all fun times. Anybody says it's fun times, they're lying to you.
But it is more adventuresome, right? It is
You can
more
have more
adventure.
adventures. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Is
mean,
what I'm
there's that
saying.
one. Yeah, there's that venture when I hitchhiked it all the way from from the south to Glasgow. That was
I
an
have,
adventure.
I have never hitchhiked in my whole life.
I
Not
hitchhiked from
once.
the
I
Canadian border to Bellingham
How
Did
far is that?
you? How
Yeah.
recently was that, Megan?
in
Was
an
that
age
very
where you're not supposed to
recently?
hitchhike. Well, I didn't hitchhike. I guess I got a ride from somebody that was at the motel I got stuck at.
Yeah,
But
I
it was
pop here. Yep.
That was actually
just
quite an adventure because that was a road trip I was on, and my boyfriend at the time, we went to Canada, and I didn't even know, I was asleep. And when we came back, they found our weed, and this was back in 2002. Yeah,
Yeah.
2002. So weed wasn't legal, and so he got arrested. Truck got
oh
impounded.
no.
I
Oh
decided we could
no.
carry, walked across the street to the motel, figured out a ride the next day to Bellingham, bailed him out, got stuck in Washington State for 2 extra weeks, but that's where I fell in love with the Northwest. And that's when I'm like, I'm moving to the Northwest. It only took me 13 years,
Wow. Okay, I
Well,
didn't know
but I did.
that.
I made
yeah.
it.
When I done it, I walked 13 miles to the motorway exit, or to the entry to the motorway. I fun for a ride. I got the far as onto the M25. They dropped me off on the motorway, so I walked. Then I got lifted by the police because you're not supposed to walk along the motorway. Said, "What you doing?" I said, "Look, I'm doing this." They dropped me off here. I don't know. So okay, I said, "Okay then. If you're gonna do that, we wouldn't recommend you doing that, but you need to do it at the drop it off thing where they go and the exit for the motorway." I went, "Okay then."
Right.
So I managed to get another lift. They ended up dropping me off in the thing again. So I got the lucky it was a different county because I would have got arrested. So I ended up at this other county, and they dropped me. I said, "Look, you can't do this. If we catch you once more, we're going to arrest you." So okay then. So I got off at the thing, then ended up at this place called Wolverhampton, and these guys gave me a lift to, I can't remember what it was, but it was only a short distance. It was a works van, so they decided to pick me. So I waited. Then this car picked me up, and I was a naive guy, and it was really freezing, so I was wearing like 2 or 3 jackets because I was honestly bitter cold. And he came up, and he was an older guy too,
hmm
and it's a really freaky story, this one. So in this car, then he started talking about things, and I went, "Oh yeah, because you just have a chat to pass time by." And he goes, "Yeah, yeah." He said, "I've got a funny shaped condom."
Condom.
Yeah, and I went, "You what?" And he goes, "I've got a funny shaped condom." And he goes, "Do you want to see it?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're in this car, so you know." Oh, okay. And he goes, it was shaped like a goblin.
A goblin. Did you say goblin?
Yeah, I did. Yes, yes. And I went, "Really?" Yeah. And he produced this condom, and it was shaped like a goblin. It had a goblin's head on it. And I went, "Oh, that's a bit weird." And he goes to me, "Do you carry protection?" And I went, "Carry protection?" And because I knew I was hitchhiking, I had a small knife with me. You're not
Okay.
supposed to, but I had a small knife. And I went, "What? I've got this knife here, mate."
Yeah.
And he went,
Yeah.
Okay then. And he did not talk to me for the rest of the journey and left me alone.
And how much longer did you ride with him? Out of
I think
curiosity.
about an hour. He dropped
Good
me off at
Lord.
Carlisle. You know,
Good Lord, dude.
I thought, but I swear, if I didn't have that knife, I would have maybe been in the newspapers.
So I'm naive. Was he trying to proposition you?
I think so, Liz. I was naive at that point too when I was younger, a lot younger.
Okay.
I'd done this when I was like 19, but I was a really young 19.
All right.
And I think he was trying to get some, and he was going to do stuff to me.
Oh Lord.
But it wasn't
Okay.
because I produced that knife, he left me alone.
Yeah. Well, hence why I've never hitchhiked. Okay. When I see girls alone, and you don't see it up
But
where I live
that
anymore.
isn't,
but-
that isn't the end of my story there though. Because
Oh,
when I went to Carlisle, because I had to go to
right.
Glasgow, a truck driver gave me a lift to Glasgow, and he dropped me off at this place. I was wandering around the back streets of Glasgow. This is the inner city of Glasgow. It's rough as some of these places. And I went into this police station. I recognised where I was. Went to this police station, and I went, hello, and he go, hello, and I was honestly really a bedraggled state. I really was. And he goes, can I help you? I said, yeah. Can you tell me where this street is, please? It's the Springburn and this thing. He goes, son, how are you getting there? And I said, I'm walking. And he went, no, really? Are you going to get there? And I went, no, mate, I'm walking there. And he looked at me and he goes, I can't have you walking there, lad. And I went, but it's all right. I'll just go there. Just tell me where it is and I'll follow directions. He went, no. They said, when's the last time you had something to drink? I said, oh, I can't remember now because I was on the road for 27 hours. So what they've done is they said, okay, then. He said, you sit over there. We'll get you a cup of tea. I said, who are you trying to get a hold of? I said, my aunt. That's where I'm going to. She goes, all right. I said, we'll get a hold of your aunt. I said, but you don't know a telephone number. And they went, yeah, that's no problem for us, mate. We'll get the telephone number. They gave me a blanket and they gave me a pillow. And I slept on that bench. And my auntie came up, picked me up. She got me a taxi. We got a taxi back. Gave me, I had this cooked breakfast. It wasn't the best breakfast, but do you know what? It was so lovely. My uncle gave me a tin of beer. It wasn't the best beer, but do you know when you had nothing to drink for that long? It just tasted fantastic. And they just picked me up, and I just must have slept for most of that day after that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I got myself sorted out. I lived in Glasgow for like a year and a half, 2 years.
And you were how old at this time?
When I left Glasgow, I was 22.
Really young. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now Scotland and England and it's all Great Britain. So when you're going between the two, there's no citizenship issues or passport issues or none of that kind of stuff, right? You guys are all just one big happy country, and you can go back and forth at will, correct?
No, you can go back and forth at will all you want, Liz.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the United States, going from one state to another. Okay.
Yeah, you can go for it. Yeah. I mean, I could go to Northern Ireland and I can go to Ireland as long as I just got photographic ID.
Oh, okay.
You don't really need anyway. You don't really need ID to go into these places.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we don't either from state to state, but
yeah,
if I tried to go to Canada right now, I'd have to have either what's called an enhanced ID or a passport just to go to Canada or Mexico.
Well, because Canada's a different country. When you're talking about England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, these are all countries in the United Kingdom.
Right.
And Ireland, there's been an agreement in Ireland since the 1930s that called a common travel area where you don't need any passport to travel in between Britain and the Republic of Ireland.
Right.
Yeah. So travel, you could travel up and down this country here. You could travel to Wales, you could travel to Northern Ireland, you could travel to Scotland. No problem.
Right. But at one point in time in the history of all of, you're going back centuries, you guys were considered yourselves separate countries, Scotland and Wales and Ireland and England, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Wales got annexed by England in the medieval times.
Right.
Edward the First destroyed the Welsh royal family and took over Wales.
Yep. Longshanks. Yep.
Yeah. Then he tried to take over Scotland, but that didn't work out. Yeah, that didn't work out there. He wasn't way he done it was all political and military. It wasn't just military; it's all political and military. So he tried, but he got chucked out. The English left Scotland because of the Battle of Bannockburn.
Gotcha.
And but there's a saying, and it's a very true saying: no English king sat on the Scottish throne.
Ah, okay.
Okay, Brian. Right. Take care, mate. It's good seeing you on here. Look after yourself. And I'll speak to you soon.
But technically,
yeah, so there's no English king has sat on a Scottish throne, but a Scottish king, has sat on the English throne.
Right, which would be the first one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would have been Mary, Queen of Scots' son, James.
Yes,
the
James.
Right. Right.
James V.
Oh, fifth. I'm sorry. Yes.
James. He was James V first.
Okay.
Then he came James I after taking over the throne in England.
Right, but he still had the throne in Scotland at the same time, did he not?
Yes, he did. Yes, he was the king of. Yes, called. That's where you get. That's where you get the Crowns United.
Right, that's what I thought. So that was right after Elizabeth the First.
Yeah.
So early 1600s, I believe.
So he was. Maybe let's find his real full title, because I'm sure he was King of Ireland too.
Oh, that I didn't know. Okay. Did Ireland ever have a single united country king?
There has been High Kings of Ireland.
Yeah, but one single one for the whole country ever?
Sort of. Okay. I think. I'm not too sure. I need to look that one up. Yeah, so James was King of Great Britain. James the Sixth. Yeah, James the Sixth of Scotland and James the First of England.
Gotcha.
Let's see if you had the Irish King of Ireland.
Right, and he was Mary, Queen of Scots' only child. Yes.
Yeah. So King James was James the First of England and Ireland in 1603.
Right. And was he the king that had the plot to blow up the Parliament? Was that his reign and his?
That was his reign. He was going to get killed by a guy called Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes, yeah.
It was Catholic. Yeah. It was Catholic Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how we get Bonfires Night.
Yeah, fascinating.
That's when we light a load of bonfires and we set off a load of fireworks because some Catholic tried to kill a king.
Right. Yep.
Even though the king's mother was Catholic, but he was brought up Protestant.
Yes. Well, she didn't have him past a year or two old, I believe, if I remember correctly. He was raised by not her, other people.
He was raised by other people, yes.
Yeah, she ended up in England and under house arrest by Elizabeth the First.
Elizabeth the First. Then she plotted against Elizabeth I, and Elizabeth I gave her the death sentence.
Yeah. Supposedly didn't want to,
And
but yeah.
no, she supposedly didn't want to. Other people seen it as illegal because a king or queen can't kill another king or queen.
Right. Yep. And
But that's what happened, and that's how the Britain was created because of that one move. There hasn't been a proper English king or queen sat on the throne. Ooh, I'm trying to think. From bloodlines, from bloodline here, there hasn't been a proper English king from bloodline since 1066.
Oh yeah, because that was William the Conqueror coming over from
Normandy.
Normandy, right? And those kings were all Norman.
Yep, those kings were all French.
Yep.
Then you got the Plantagenets, which came from the French line.
Right.
Then the Tudors, they came from Wales.
Yep. Owen Tudor.
Then the Stuarts came from Scotland.
Yep.
Then after the Stuarts became the German line, but even they were related to the Stuarts.
Right.
And that's how you get the present king or queen on the throne.
And the Hanoverian and
oh, I forgot. You forgot the one Dutch, the William Prince of Orange.
Orange.
But his wife was a Stuart too.
Right. Mary. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was Mary Stuart, and she was related. She was a thing of James.
Right.
So the Stuarts are still being influenced the throne now.
Right.
More so than the Tudors.
Right.
Because how the German line came about was because of Elizabeth Stuart. And she married the Emperor of the Palatine.
Oh, yeah.
And she became the Winter Queen of Bohemia. And they were the only Protestant line. Because the other Stuart were Catholics. And they couldn't have a Catholic on the throne because he had to be defender of the faith.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because of the Church of England. Yeah, they wouldn't convert to
from Henry VIII.
Yeah, they wouldn't convert to Protestantism. So they asked the German line because they were descendants of Elizabeth Stuart. They came and took the throne, and that's how you get the Hanovers.
Right. Gotcha.
Then after that, the last of them was Queen Victoria, but her husband, who was her cousin, was German too. Then they became the Windsors.
Right. Before that,
and
they were Battenberg, I believe, or Mountbatten or something. Yeah.
Saxo-Gothenburg or something.
Yeah.
Gothenburg.
Yep.
So all that then because they changed the name in World War One to make it more patriotic because we obviously were fighting Germany. So they chose the name Windsor.
Right.
Because that's where Windsor Castle.
Yep, they're still using Windsor to this day, I believe.
Yep.
It's fascinating if you follow it all and read about it. I personally find it fascinating.
Scotland has had more influence over the throne than any England or Welsh.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'd love
the last
too.
Yeah. The last Stuart died was the last king or queen was Anne Stuart, and she died in the 1700s.
Okay.
But she was the one that united. She's the one that united the parliaments.
Oh, they kept separate parliaments up until then. Okay.
Yes. That's how you get the Act of Union in 1707.
So, but they got their own parliament back not too long ago, right? Within the last decade, maybe? Am I wrong?
Yeah, Scotland's got its own parliament again. Yes.
Yeah.
or quasi parliament, or whatever you want to call it. It's a parliament. They got a first minister,
Okay.
but they're terrible. They just can't. They're
Terrible.
terrible at running things. They're one
Aw.
party policy. They want Scottish to be independent, but so far their finances are in a mess. The ex-first minister got arrested because of finances. Lots of
Wow.
people in Scotland are hating them right now because nothing's happening. They keep on blaming other people and not themselves. It's all,
Wow. Wow. I didn't
yeah.
know that.
I was speaking to my aunt, and I said, look, it said this. He goes, yeah, they all agree. They're all fucking useless up here. Every one of them. Any party is useless.
So, if they have their own parliament up there, Paul, do Scots, are they only allowed to vote for Scotland and not English voting, or can they do both?
Well, there's no such thing as English voting, Liz.
Okay.
If there's a
Well,
general election, if it's a general election,
right.
it's just that how many, it's the more seats they have. It's like each county is a seat,
Okay.
or each borough has a seat, or something like that.
Okay.
So there's different seats. So the person who wins the most seats, the party that wins the most seats is the party that wins. Everybody thinks
Right.
we vote for the prime minister. We don't. We vote for the party.
Right. I did know that.
So the prime minister is the chairman of the party.
Right. I got that.
So when people say, oh, you've had so many unelected prime ministers. No, we elected the party. The person who just in charge of the party is the thing. We didn't elect. It's up to them to elect the person in charge of the party. We just vote for the party. If you get my meaning.
I got you.
So if you're a member of the so let's say it's American way here. So you've got the Democrats, you've got the Republicans, and you've got the Tea Party, and you've got another party. So the Republicans win. Okay, so the Republicans win over here. Then suddenly the prime minister does something naughty. So said, okay, we're throwing a prime minister. So they'd vote for the people who are members of that party would actually vote for them. You got a chance. So if you belong to that, if you're a paid member, you have a chance for voting for that party.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. You had a lady prime minister not that long ago.
Yeah.
Whose name
so we've had two lady. Yeah, we had two lady prime ministers and Boris. Right. All of them got let go.
They all essentially got fired.
Yeah. So people are saying, but we didn't have a general election to elect a leader. No, we elected the party. It's up to the party to elect the person.
So who's prime minister over there right now? I'm not up on that.
Oh, it's a Rajiv. Oh, I know who he is. You know.
Are you having a senior moment, dear?
Yeah, I know who he is. It's a Rajesh Sunak.
Oh, he's of East Indian descent.
Yeah, he's hold on. Let me see. Yeah, his family's let me get his family. Yeah, he's born to East African born Hindu parents of Punjab descent.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting. Have you had someone of that, for want of a better word, ethnicity before in that position, or
no?
not?
This is the first time.
Okay.
That an person of Indian descent has been in charge of Britain.
Okay. All right.
So we're a progressive country.
Yeah, Laura.
There you go.
Laura Rader's here. She's filling me in too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Okay.
How you doing, my babe?
Hey guys.
Hey, Megan's back. Hello, Megan.
I'm good. Hey,
And he's out
I'm
of the
trying to do
conservative.
something on my computer, and
It's just not happening.
No, StreamYard's just really slowing it down, so I was gonna hop off.
Okay, well, if you need to do that, you need to do that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I got to get some work done, so.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
But
then.
I will be around the show.
All right.
But thank you for
Well,
having
next time
me.
next time we have a live, you're always more than welcome to come up. You know?
Well, thank you.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome.
Sure, if you guys are live when I take a break, I will be back. I'll save
All
the
right.
link.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll speak to you soon then. You take care.
All right.
Right. Bye.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Take
Bye,
it
bye,
easy.
Laura. Bye, Laura. See ya.
I keep missing Laura. I haven't run across her in a lot of
Yeah.
chats recently.
See you later,
She's
Megan. Thank you.
been other places than I've been. Yeah, where's Vic, that little twerp?
He hasn't came up. I'll have words with him.
Well, me too. He said he would, and now he's disappeared. I haven't even seen him in the chat.
I need to fly over and beat his pool boy.
You could
That'll
do
teach
that.
him.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could go after his yard guy, or both.
Yeah. I'll just have to beat him.
Yeah.
I did send Liz the link, but it looks like she's not on.
No, I checked for her too, and she looked like she was totally offline.
Well, yeah, she's busy. She's got a lot of stuff. I just sent her a link just on the off chance.
I know. She's still I think she's still unpacking and moving in.
Yeah.
And she's trying to do it in a lot of heat.
Yeah, that is
So,
very true.
Yeah. So I'm sure it hasn't been easy.
No, but there you go. That's enough said on that one. Oh, I don't know what to say now.
I know, that's why I need Vic.
Yeah.
I'm running
Anybody
out of
else who'd
time.
like to come up? I'll put the thing on.
Well, I wish we could get Laura up here, but I never see her darken a.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't come up.
So I won't yell at her.
Yeah.
We're down.
Yeah, I'd like to see Laura up here too. So, but
yes,
you know.
Laura is very knowledgeable. She stays up on current events much more than I do.
That's what I said. You see, there you go. That's what I did say that.
Yep.
I did.
Yeah, she says she doesn't do panels. That's a shame because she could contribute. I would enjoy it.
Yeah. She's a little bit naughty too.
And Ham Banana hasn't been around as much to come up on panels. He's been on a few.
Oh no, Hand Banana. I know Hand Banana will come up on chat, but he won't come up much on panel.
Yeah.
Because he says because he knows what my channel's all about.
Oh, aren't we? We're not.
Yeah, he likes to create a little bit of a fuss.
Yeah,
Okay. What's the question, Laura? Let's wait for the question.
Yep.
No, Nicola Sturgeon resigned from the party. Then a couple of weeks after resigning, she got arrested because of the investigation of the finances. Then she got released, but they're still investigating on what's going on.
Oh wow!
It's a bit murky. It's a little bit thing. People thought they'd all be for Scotland, but it turned out no.
Okay, well, she did tell me that the Scots. Let's see. The Scots get to vote for both Scottish Parliament and the UK Parliament.
Yes.
Yes. So equivalent of our state and federal levels here. So yeah, she cleared that up for me. Because that's what I was trying to ask you without asking it correctly.
Yeah, so that's what I was on about. It's a party system, so
yeah,
their party.
You've got
Carry on,
House
Liz.
of, you've got your Parliament, you've got House of Lords, and
Okay,
then
the
you've
House
got
of Lords are unelected.
right. That's what I thought. They have to be aristocracy or something. Is that how it works?
No, it's not
No,
aristocracy. They have to get given a title Lord,
isn't
and
that
they can go into the House of Lords. Yeah, it's not a parliament. It's Stormont. Stormont is a oh god, what's the word? It's not a parliament. It's not classified as a parliament. The House of Lords is a crap mess. It always has been a crap mess.
really okay?
Yeah,
And then the other
okay. How would you describe the House of Lords to an American? It'd be like the Supreme Court.
really okay.
Yeah, Supreme Court is non-elected, isn't it?
True, but they can't do anything beyond judicial. They can't make law. They can only adjudicate.
House of Lords can't make law, but they can
Okay.
ban laws.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So the
They get
law.
to vote. So yeah, so what happens is, say Parliament wanted one day to ban the Mars bars. So Parliament would put a motion through Mars bars, saying, okay, so we have this. So there'll be a vote. So the vote passes. Mars bars, there'll be ban on Mars bars. This goes through the House of Lords. Okay, so Lords maybe a bit better than me. So the House of Lords will vote on it. They vote not to ban Mars bars. Now the Houses of Parliament could push this, but the Houses of Lords could take the House of Parliament to court and get it overturned.
Okay.
But if the law was passed, it'll be passed through the House of Lords. Then they'd be ready for royal assent, where the monarchy, would sit there and you'd be given these laws and it'd be saying, right, okay, this has got given royal assent, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and there'd be a ban on Mars bars.
Oh. All right.
But the
Okay.
House of Lords can overturn.
Okay. So, but you also have the House of Commons, right?
Yes, the House of Commons is the elected government body.
That's what I thought. Okay.
That's why it's called Commons, because it's commoners.
Right. Okay. And they establish law.
Yeah, they put the law through.
Right.
Like I said, they want a law on Mars bars. And I said, oh, it's always strange, but let's just go with that. So they say we want a ban on Mars bars because they contain too much sugar. They have a vote. The vote will pass, ban on Mars bars. Then it'll need to go through the House of Lords. The House of Lords could go, no, we like Mars bars. The House of Parliament, the House of Commons or the House of Parliament, it's the same thing. We'll go, okay, we need to amend this or not do it or push it through, but the House of Lords can take us to court and get it taken away.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's an interesting process. Okay.
And with war, Parliament can vote to go to war. It'll go through the House of Lords. The House of Lords say, we want the war. Parliament, okay then, but they've still got to ask the monarchy for permission to use the armed forces.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
So every war that's been happened, not military action, I'm talking about war, the Prime Minister goes up to the monarchy. Like the last major war, the Second Gulf War was the major one, or Kosovo. The Prime Minister goes up to meet the monarchy. He met the Queen. We need to use our armed forces. We need to go to war. We just need your permission. The monarchy will not refuse, or they can refuse. But again, it cause a big stink up, and it could cause what they call a constitutional collapse. And so she signed the agreement for our troops to be used into war.
I gotcha.
because on the oath of allegiance, it doesn't say the powers of Parliament. It says we swear allegiance to Her Majesty Queen. And well, okay, so there's stuff. Do you know what? I've done our oath of allegiance. I should remember it, but okay. So
Yeah,
the
it
full
is cool.
title
I
is
didn't know you had one. Okay.
okay. Yeah. So you sign this when you join any military force. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I swear by Almighty God. No. Okay. So yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong one. Army oath. Okay. Okay, so this is the armed forces. I, Paul Morrison, swear by Almighty God, do solemnly and truly declare and affirm I'll be faithful to bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, and that I will, as in duty bound, honestly and faithfully defend His Majesty, his heirs and successors in person, crown, and dignity against all enemies, and will observe all orders of His Majesty's, his heirs and successors, and of the admirals, generals, and air officers, and the officers set over me. So help me God.
Okay, that's way different than ours.
Yep. So there's no mention of any prime ministers or parliaments.
Gotcha.
But they get away with that by using the term officers.
Yeah, Laura says because the UK doesn't have a written constitution. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. It doesn't have
Yeah.
it doesn't have bona fide written constitution. Our constitution is written in our laws, legislations, and bills.
Gotcha. So it can be more fluid than ours in that regard. We can amend.
No, we can amend too.
Right.
We can put amendments in too. It's just we haven't got a bona fide written constitution. Our constitution is written into laws and legislations and bills.
Right.
It's just
With-
no, we don't have to say there's no constitution or anything like that.
Right. So the difference with us over here is that we've got all of that. We've got the written constitution and the amendments to it, and then we have the laws, as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got laws too. I mean, we've also got charters.
Oh,
We
of
use the
course.
Magna Carta,
Right.
Magna Carta, which means Great Charter,
right.
and that gives power. That gives the power to the people.
Right. That's when the royal power stopped being absolute, correct?
I think royal power stopped being absolute after the English Civil War.
I didn't know you all had it. Was that the King Charles when you guys went into the several years of being a democracy or whatever? You didn't have
We weren't a
king?
democracy.
Yeah.
Think so. Yeah, I mean, I would say absolute monarchy. Absolute monarchy ended in 1215 when the Magna Carta was signed, but also it was changed after the English Civil War too.
But that was quite a while later, right?
Yeah, the English Civil War was quite a while. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's 1600s,
Right.
and it was three of them. There was three English Civil Wars in between that time.
Yeah,
you
they
know.
they beheaded the King Charles, then Cromwell. Cromwell? What was his name? Was
Yeah,
his name
well,
Cromwell?
yeah, it was Oliver Cromwell. Where everybody forgets,
Yeah.
Oliver Cromwell was not in charge at the beginning of the Civil War.
Oh, okay. I thought he was.
He was one of the people involved in it, but he wasn't in charge.
Okay.
He later
And
became
then-
in charge after certain battles. Then he changed the army, his army,
Okay.
after found out they were losing and they weren't thing, and you produced what they called the new model army, where they've done fitness and stuff like that and battle tactics, and he changed it around. So after the English Civil Wars, the reason why Charlie got his head chopped off is because he got done for treason against Britain or England,
Oh, okay. I thought.
because he invited the Irish to invade.
Oh, I did not
And
know that.
yeah, and because the Irish are Catholic and England's a Protestant country,
Right.
they considered it treason.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So
So they
how did they get the kings back again then? How did they
okay.
reverse it?
So they chopped off old Charlie
Right.
and Oliver Cromwell because they found out they needed somebody in a seat of power. So Oliver Cromwell became Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England and Scotland.
Right.
Okay, so I'll find out his full title. Okay, so
I'm trying to think how
he
many
actually had
years.
his he actually had his titles. Yeah, so His Highness Oliver Cromwell was Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland, because Wales was an annexed country. They didn't really consider Wales to be a country then.
Okay.
So yeah, so they found out you needed to be in charge, so you became Lord Protector, which was an hereditary title, which he passed it down to his son. His son was about as useful as tits on a goldfish,
Yes. I've read that.
and he left the country, and they needed somebody to be in power. So they invited Charles II to come back to take over the throne, the Reformation of the Crown.
Okay.
Of course, England was such a dour place at that point because of Puritans banning here, there, and everywhere, and they weren't allowed to have Christmas or allowed to have the other things too. There was a massive party and celebration. It also caused a little bit of grief because also I'm sure there was some other people didn't like it, so there's some other rebellions and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so Charles II got invited into the country. He got chased around for a bit. Then he got invited to take back the throne. So he took the throne, and there was much rejoicing and partying. The Puritans left for Holland, and some of them sailed on that little ship over to that big island and created that big mess.
Big Island meaning the. Are you referring to the United States?
Yeah,
I've never heard us called a Big Island before. That's funny. Okay, I gotcha. Yes, I knew it was the Puritans that came over.
yeah. The Puritans came over. Well, some other people. It wasn't just the Puritans. It was just some of the other people there.
Right.
What you call the Pilgrim Fathers, we call them the "We fucking don't like you no more, mate. So piss off."
Yeah. Well, I didn't learn until a few years ago that growing up as a kid, I was taught, that we were settled by people that came directly from England. They did not teach us that, oh, wait a minute, they went to Holland first and stayed there quite a while.
Yeah,
So,
went to. Some of them
yeah,
did come from Plymouth Rock.
yeah,
Some of them did come from Plymouth. The Mayflower did come from Plymouth there, but some of them came from Holland too.
yeah, exactly. And
And
that
they weren't
wasn't taught.
they weren't fleeing religious persecution. They're the ones that caused religious persecution.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You know how many Catholics died at the hands of Oliver Cromwell and his Puritans?
no, but I'm sure it was probably a lot.
Go to
More.
Ireland go to Ireland and say, wasn't Oliver Cromwell such a nice bloke?
I've never read that he wasn't considered a nice bloke, but
But
what do I know?
his name is absolutely mud in Ireland.
Well, how is it in England? In the rest of the country?
Depends who you ask.
Okay. That makes sense.
If you ask me, he was a very, very naughty man.
Okay. All right. I got
But he did do some good things for England, but also it's like Hitler. He'd done some good things for Germany, but he ended up being a very bad man.
Yes. People that there's that kind of opinion with Donald Trump as well here. So I get you.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have not been following our politics much of late.
Well, do you know what? I don't understand the total thing, Catholic and Protestant thing in Ireland, because it doesn't happen over here. We do not have streets barricaded because somebody's Catholic. You know,
Well, you guys
and
haven't
and it wasn't, and the whole thing, Laura, wasn't from England. The whole thing started from Scotland. The Orange Lodge is a Scottish thing, not an English thing. The first lodge was in Scotland.
Oh, okay. What's she saying?
If they don't, royals or other leaders telling them how to practice their religion or persecution of others.
Yeah.
The Orange Lodge is a Scottish thing. It is not. It is Scottish.
She says you're spewing nonsense, dear.
It's from Scotland.
Yeah, I got that, Laura. The okay was for me. Oh, she's funny.
It's most of the Scots that do it, and Irish, Northern Irish. It doesn't really happen anywhere else.
Well, the Irishers seem to be pretty passionate about their faith, Catholic or Protestant. So yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, so yeah, because they said the Orange Lodge celebrate the King William fighting the Stuarts, and because it was Catholic versus Protestant.
Ah, gotcha.
And you get lots of songs, and there's lots of songs about it from the Protestant side, from the Orange Lodge. They'll sing the Billy Boys, but that's a gang tune. But that's got deep seated in Protestantism. They'll sing like, it's been bad now, but they'll sing a line. They'll go, "We up to next in Fenian blood, so surrender or we'll die, for we are the Brigton Derry Billy Boys."
Okay.
They'll sing the Sash, which is for it was old and it was beautiful. Skill and the boy, which is an anti-Catholic song. Well,
no, Laura, not King Edward. It was Henry VIII, my dear. You know that, right?
yeah, Henry VIII, Laura. That was Henry VIII.
Yeah. He only beheaded 2 of the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Married, beheaded, and survived.
Yeah. Anne of Cleves was annulled.
Yeah.
Yes. Henry VIII, my dear. Exactly.
Henry VIII. Then he invaded Ireland too.
Yeah,
the Normans
he did.
Yep, the Normans invaded Ireland. Scotland invaded Ireland too.
Did the Vikings ever get over to Ireland at all, or not?
Yeah, the Vikings came over to Ireland and Scotland and England.
I knew they hit Scotland and England, but I didn't know if they went all the way around and hit Ireland too.
Yeah, they did Ireland too.
Okay.
Yeah, Scotland invaded Ireland and had Robert the Bruce's brother set as High King of Ireland. Edward the First, Edward the Longshanks.
Longshanks. I was just gonna say.
And don't talk about that movie because I love
I
that
know.
movie, but it's about as historical as Star Wars.
I know. I read the same. It's
It's just
although they did portray his execution correctly, I believe.
no, they didn't even portray that correctly
I
neither.
thought
They
they
done little
did. I thought
bits.
he
They done
wasn't
little
he
bits. He was hung, drawn, and quartered, but
right.
they didn't show you open his stomach up, then frying his innards in front of him.
Oh, they didn't do that part?
They didn't show them castrating him and
Did they
waving it in
actually?
front. Yeah, waving in front of him.
Hmm.
And that battle at the end, the Battle of Bannockburn, where they're all wearing kilts and they're all through the sword. That was a load of old bollocks too, because I didn't know how that wasn't how that battle went neither.
Well, yeah. I've read that there's a lot of historical inaccuracies.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty thing. And also, way his father killed that guy, that didn't happen that way neither. He survived.
What about his wife? Was that true? That the way his wife was
No,
killed?
no,
Okay.
that's not true. That was far from the truth. Let me think.
Well, they had to
Let me
make it
see.
more romantic.
Let me see which part of that movie's true.
Hollywood has to have the romance in there, dude.
Yeah, the name William Wallace was true. That's about it.
Oh, that's funny.
It is one of the worst historical movies around
Well,
for accuracy.
that's true for a lot of historical.
No. This is the worst.
You think it's the worst, huh?
Yep. Okay, shall I tell you how I think it's? Do you want me to start? And I'll tell you at the end, yeah?
Sure.
Okay, they introduced William Wallace as this poor farmer infant, didn't they? Little boy.
Little boy, yeah, poor family.
And they introduced him living in the Highlands.
Yes, they did.
Okay. No, he was living just outside of Glasgow, and his father was of lesser nobility. At a young age, he got trained as a mercenary.
Okay.
His coat of arms was a bow and arrow, so they presume he was an archer. So they think he actually fought for the English army when they were doing manoeuvres in Britain
Did he not?
as a mercenary. They know he's a mercenary, but they can't prove where he fought.
All right.
The truth about his wife, the sheriff did kill his wife, but her name wasn't Murren. It was Marion.
Okay.
So he did kill the sheriff, but they didn't go to the full story how he killed the sheriff. When he got hold of the sheriff, he went and killed him. And for his revenge, for his revenge of killing the sheriff, he skinned the sheriff from his back to his leg.
Ew.
And he made from his skin a baldric for his sword.
Ew.
They didn't go into that bit, did they?
No, they did not. It's pretty gross.
Yep. His men were not Highlanders. They did not come from the Highlands and their bounds and other Highland villagers went and joined them. That's absolutely bollocks. Not saying Highlanders didn't join them. It's more like they did. But they did not wear... That's a good song. I love that song. But they did not wear any kilts. Kilts were not prevalent at that time. They would have been dressed more like the English.
Interesting. Okay.
He did not live in a village like that. Well, presumably he did not live in a village like it was happening, like a Highland village. So, him and I think it was De Moray. It was another guy, got their armies together, and they defeated the English at a battle called the Battle of Stirling Bridge.
Right. That I've read about.
Okay, so it was common courtesy for the army to line up and pose themselves at each end.
Okay.
Because William's army was more like a guerrilla army, and de Moray and Wallace's army was more like a guerrilla army. You know, they thought they
Right.
would corner it and create a bottleneck at the bridge there. So as the
Okay.
English tried to get past with all their heavy armor and all their infantry, they couldn't. They get pushed back into the river.
Ah.
Prima nocta, no such thing. It did not happen.
Oh, really?
That's another lie. Yep, that's another lie from the thing. No such thing as prima nocta.
Ever?
It did not happen there. Never, never, never.
Interesting. Okay.
So they managed, and William became Guardian of Scotland at that point. That bit of the movie was true. He did become Guardian, but he did not dress entirely like the way it was. So he went and tried to invade England. He didn't get that far into England. As you see, the movie says, the Siege of York. At the Siege of York, William Wallace did not invade York. He did not do a Siege of York. That did not happen again. That was made for the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he done raids there. Then the English army moved up to it did not happen, Laurie. There was no Siege of York at all. No, that's absolute balls. So William, the English army landed and moved up to Falkirk. William moved up to Falkirk, but what happened was he didn't have his main man there. I think it's de Moray. Don't quote me on that name.
Right.
But he died because of the wounds at Stirling Bridge.
Gotcha.
William met Edward at Falkirk. William moved his men into Shilkrans. Fortunately, the English bow went and beat the Shilkrans, and they got absolutely massacred.
The Scots did.
Yep, the Scots did. Absolutely massacred at Falkirk. William gave up his guardianship and became the foreign ambassador to Scotland. He went into France and to Rome to plead for Scotland's case. He later came back and he started raiding the English border towns in Northumbria and Cumbria and places like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was later captured. He was later betrayed by a fellow Scot, a fellow sir. Nobody knows why he done it, but it's presumed to get English lands. He was later betrayed by a Scot and taken down to. He was later tried at Carlisle, I think. I'm not too sure where he was tried. I think he was tried at London, but he was taken to Carlisle, in prison Carlisle, then taken to London. He had a sort of mock trial. They asked him to play thing. He said, he wasn't my king. You know, which is true. There was another. Edward wasn't the king of Scotland, but he sort of took hold of the throne somehow. He became Lord Protector of Scotland, or High Protector. So William said, I never gave anything. So they tried him and found him guilty of treason. And that's when he got dragged from Westminster to Smithfield.
Right.
And that's when, so along the journey, they dragged him on like a cart. And he was tied to this like trolley type thing. And the English came up in the streets and started chucking rotten fruits, stones at him and shit like that, and excrement and other stuff at him. And he got taken up to Smithfield, and the Smithfield, that's when he got his execution.
Smithfield still exists.
Yeah, it's a big market there.
Okay.
Edward later died. Not when William Wallace died, though. That was the most stupidest part of the movie.
Oh, that's right. They do have him dying in the movie, don't they?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because
So
they've got that whole subplot about his son and the
yep,
French princess, and yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So yeah, Edward died. Where did Edward die? He died. He died of. He was really ill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he died.
His wife died first,
Yeah,
I
he
believe.
died.
Yeah.
Borough on Sands, which is Cumberland.
Oh, okay.
Um, let's have a look at his death.
Edward the First had the throne for quite a long time, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah, he did. Yep. So
Yeah.
okay, so Edward. Yeah, when the Bruce started trying to beat the English out of Scotland. So Edward he moved himself up to north with his armies.
Right.
Then he developed dysentery on the way, and his condition deteriorated. And he camped on Borough by Sands, just south of the Scottish border.
Uh-huh.
When his servants came the next morning to lift him so he could eat, the king had died in their arms.
So it was dysentery, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't
His
know that.
son went. Yeah, his son went and took over, and he met the Bruce on the fields of Bannockburn.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, that's when the Wallace beat him again because Edward II wasn't his father. He wasn't a great general.
Right.
He positioned his men poorly. He positioned his heavy cavalry on the marshy lands.
That
But
wasn't
the
smart.
Scottish prepared for the English to come up, and they built pits and put spikes on pits,
Mm-hmm.
and they put excrement and other stuff on the spikes,
Yeah.
so to cause poison.
Right.
Also, Robert the Bruce made use of the Schilkrons with the heavy
Okay.
cavalry, which was a no good, and they beat the English and they drove the English out of Scotland. So
Right.
this point here, was Edward as gay and as useless as betrayed? Well, that's debatable. How Edward died was debatable too. Okay, some say his wife got him killed. Okay, so there is stories. So I'm going to get this right here. Okay, so there was after the thing, there was famine in England. There was another war from Edward II, a war
Okay.
with France. He had a rift with his wife, Isabella.
Yeah, that was her name, Isabella.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's have a look at this. I'm just using Wikipedia at the moment. It's not academic, but I do apologise. He liked his luxuries.
Well, I think they all do.
Edward was imprisoned.
Oh.
They imprisoned Edward.
The French?
No, his wife and her son did.
Oh, yes, yes. I
Yeah.
remember that now. Yes.
So his wife and his son did. They made after his death. They made peace with the Scots with the Treaty of Northampton, but this move was highly unpopular. They both massed wealth, and criticism of them mounted. And Edward III was put his mother under arrest, but she was released soon too. I'm trying to find out how Edward died. It's really weird. Okay, his death was suspiciously timely. It was simply simplified. Mortimer's politicians. So several of the. I'm trying to see how he died there. Hold on, now we find out he died.
I
It's a
don't
bit
remember
difficult.
it either. Yeah, I don't remember either. I have a book somewhere, but I don't know where it's at that would say.
Okay, he was murdered. The royal family
Okay.
said he was murdered. Okay.
But there
How he
was
got
there,
murdered? There's lots of stories how he got murdered. There's one of the stories he got a red hot poker stuffed up his ass.
yes, I read that. No proof
Yeah,
though. Yeah.
no proof.
Yeah.
That's the local legend.
Seems to have been a lot of regicide over the years, right?
No, not regicide. No, there's not been many cases of regicide, Liz.
Really?
There's only been one case of regicide.
What about oh, he wasn't king. He was the king's brother. I'm thinking about another Edward at the end of the War of the Roses. But that
Some
was his
kings,
brother.
yeah, some kings died of battle.
Yeah.
Most kings died naturally.
Yeah.
King Rufus died of regicide.
Oh, okay.
It was William the Conqueror's brother. He got shot by and he got accidentally killed on a hunting trip.
Oh, all right.
King Charles wasn't done by regicide. That was done in a process of law,
Okay.
or what they would call law at that time.
All right.
So no regicide.
Well, he still ended up dead. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah, they mean Edward's death is still debated.
Okay. All right.
So that
Then what about the king? It was before the Tudors, before Henry VII. There was a King Henry that supposedly was killed by. He was in and out, off and on the throne. He was imprisoned for a time, and it was Richard and
you
Edward
talking about
and
Richard the Lionheart?
no, I'm talking about the end of the War of the Roses. That there was a King Henry, and I thought he was killed by the next king. He
You talking
wasn't
about Richard III?
Richard III and his brother Edward, who became king.
You're talking about Richard III. That's the end of the War of the Roses. Richard III.
Yeah, yeah,
Richard III was a Plantagenet, and he ended up getting
right.
killed. And he ended up getting killed in the.
He was killed in battle, but I'm talking
He was,
about before when his older brother, was king for a number of years, married to Elizabeth. No, his daughter's name was Elizabeth. What was his wife's name? Oh, dang, I can't remember. Anyways, he died relatively young and suddenly, and Richard, the princes in the towers, and Richard was supposed to, his nephew was supposed to get the throne, and Richard
Richard III's predecessor was Edward V.
Right. So my main question, though, my dear, wasn't that a regicide? When Henry was killed at
Which
the end of
Henry
the
you on
War of
about,
the Roses?
Liz?
Well, I don't know. There's been too many
I
of
just
them.
said Richard III's predecessor was
Right.
Edward IV.
Oh, Edward. Okay. Yes, his brother. But before he
What
had
do you
the
mean
throne,
What do you
it
mean
was
his
a Henry.
brother? There was a Henry.
Richard is the brother of Edward IV, correct?
You're on about Henry VI.
Yes. Was that not considered a regicide?
I'm trying to find out how he died, Liz. God bloody hell.
Well, we were talking about regicide, huh? And I thought that from what I read, I thought that it was Richard and his older brother and Edward that killed Henry VI while they had him in prison.
Henry was in prison in the Tower of London again when the Royal Party arrived. He was unfortunately dead. No, that's not
So that,
regicide.
okay. I would
You
have
need to
thought
be.
it,
You need to be you need to be like a commoner or like something like that to be a regicide.
okay. All
If
right.
a prince or anything like that, that's not regicide. That's just murder.
Okay. I didn't realize there was a distinction. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. That I learned something because it was supposedly what I read was legend has it that the three brothers killed Henry VI while he was in prison, and that's when Edward took the throne and had it for a while, and
I
then
don't think nobody knows how he died.
I'm just going off of stuff I've read, you know.
Got to be careful with some of this stuff you think in American.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of mistakes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that I read that there was proof of it, but there is legend or whatever you want to call it that it could have happened that way, right? So that's all I'm saying.
They believe he was because they dug up his body and found his hair covered in blood. So they believe he was murdered,
Right.
but nobody knows if he was or not
Okay. All right.
because they dug up his body in 1910 to move it to Westminster from Chertsey Abbey.
Oh, now you're talking about. Oh, okay. You're not talking about Richard, who also got recently dug up and moved, right, from the car
No,
park.
but no, I'm not talking recently. I said 1910, Liz.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. I didn't hear
Yeah.
1910. I
So you got dug up in, you got, he was in, but, you know, no, hold on a minute. So King Henry was buried at Chertsey Abbey in Surrey.
Uh-huh.
In 1484, Richard had his body moved to St George's Chapel, Windsor.
Okay.
When the body
Okay.
was exhumed in 1910, it was found to be 5'9". His hair was brown. His light brown hair was found to be covered in blood, with the damage to the skull.
Ah,
Strongly
still
founded
has
that,
it?
strongly
Wow.
suggesting he had been murdered.
Yes.
But nobody knows if he was or not.
Okay. Okay. I again, like I said, I'd read some stuff where they attributed it to the three brothers, and Edward then took the throne, and he died young. He was in his early 40s, I believe, and that's when his oldest son he was still a child. He was 12 or 13 years old. And his younger brother, the princes in the tower, Richard the Third, blah, 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 blah. All that happened.
Yeah,
And
but
Richard was only on the throne for like 3 or 4 years, I think. He didn't have a very long tenure.
wait a minute. Okay, his coronation. No, Edward the Fourth.
Yeah.
He was born in 1442. His coronation was 1461.
Mm-hmm. Right. And he married. I can't.
And he was
remember her
born in
name.
France.
Yeah. Yes, and Richard was the youngest of his siblings. And there was a brother in the middle whose name keeps escaping me. But I believe his title was the Earl of Clarence, but I could be wrong about that. The middle brother.
Who are you on about, Liz?
Just what I read.
Which name are you on about?
The middle brother whose name I can't remember.
Which middle brother to who?
To Edward and Richard.
Edward the Fourth.
Yes. There was a middle brother.
Well, middle brothers don't count. It's only older brothers that count. The older sons that count. So Trying to look. That is
So-
really right for this.
The Stars did a series about all of that.
Okay, so
Um,
his son Edward, that was be Edward IV, from Edward V. Edward IV took over, which was his son.
yeah.
Let me get this right. So his successor Edward IV. Okay, so he when did he die? Okay. Edward's his name was Edward and made Prince of Wales when he was 7 months old at the house of supervised by his uncle.
Mhm.
Okay. Henry. Okay, so Elizabeth was certain. Prior to his succession, Edward III declared his nephews illegitimate on the grounds his brother's marriage to Elizabeth Woodville was invalid.
That's her name, Woodville.
The Titulus Regius argued that
Yeah.
Edward had agreed to marry Lady Eleanor Talbot. His
Right.
marriage to Elizabeth Woodville was void, but Eleanor and Edward were dead. But Robert Stillington, Bishop of Bath and Wells, further claimed to have actually carried out the ceremony once
Right.
secure on the throne. Henry VII annulled the titulus and arrested Stillington, since his marriage to Elizabeth's daughter was illegitimacy to his claim. Stillington died in
Right.
prison in 1491.
Right. Right. Their daughter married Henry VII and established the Tudor line after Richard was killed when Henry VII killed him in battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stars did a whole series on it, Paul. It was really fun to watch. It was several years ago, and I can't remember if it was, I think it was called The White Queen. But it was really, I don't know how historically accurate it was, but it was really entertaining. That whole series of events. Really entertaining. I enjoyed every minute of it. Watching it.
Edward III, so yeah.
And that was technically, or at least I've been told, that was technically the end of the War of the Roses that went on for so very long.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And the end of the Plantagenet dynasty.
Yeah.
It also went on for, a couple centuries or more. Yeah. Plantagenets. Yeah, it was all extremely fascinating. A lot of intrigue, a lot of stuff that can't be proven one way or the other. The princes in the tower and what an enduring mystery that is. All of that stuff. Yeah. Fascinating. No proof for anything one way or the other. They all covered their tracks really well where murder was concerned, if it happened, right? They're not sure they've ever found the remains of the two young princes. There's those bones they found in the tower. And I believe Elizabeth II wouldn't let those be examined. I can't remember, but I think I read something about that.
The bones are already been examined, Liz.
Once, but the last time somebody wanted to, the Crown said no, I think. And that was Elizabeth II at the time. I'm not sure when that was, the 70s, maybe, the 80s, the 70s, I don't know.
No, it was a bit before that too.
Okay.
That was in 1674.
No. I'm talking about the last time that somebody wanted to examine the prince's bones. It was in this century. Somebody
All
was
right.
asking. I don't know who was asking, but they wanted to try and identify for sure if it was those two princes or not.
Well, they've got a picture of it, Liz.
Do they?
They've got a picture of the skull fragment.
Okay. Laura's cracking me up. I don't even want to touch
Yeah.
Egyptian history, my dear. Not to mention the fact that Cleopatra wasn't an Egyptian. She was Greek, right? I
Oh,
believe.
no, she was Macedonian.
I thought she was Greek.
What's that?
I thought she was Greek.
No, she was from Macedonia. She was Macedonian descent.
Okay. Yes, I have watched the Big Fat Quiz Show. It cracks me up. She's asking.
Yeah. I've watched that too. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
It is.
it is. You guys,
All
that's done once a year, right? You guys do that?
Yeah. It's once every into the new year.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to end this now because I'm getting a wee bit tired.
All right, my dear.
I just thought it was actually turned out to be a really good one. I didn't expect this many people to be in at them, but no, that was really cool.
They probably got tired of us arguing about history of the monarchy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I know it is what it is. This is what I do these things for. But this is for just general chat. So I allow this type of chat. You know, if it was for a subject, it would be different. But you know what I mean.
Well, you know
I have to
me.
stick to the subject.
I'm fascinated by your monarchy's history. So if it's up to me to be the only one asking questions, that's the first place I go when I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is just when you know if it was an actual topic, I'd try to stick to the topic.
Right. I got you.
You know what I mean.
Yep, I do.
But this is just general chat, so this is cool.
Laura says her work interferes with her YouTube entertainment. Yep, I remember those days, my dear.
You know, but I like to thank you for coming on, Liz, and having a chat. It's been good.
Thank you, my dear.
You're very welcome. I don't know what time it is over there.
It is in my time zone. It's just after 5 p.m.
Okay, well it's one in the morning here.
Yeah, you go get some rest, my dear.
Yeah, but thank you to everybody who appeared. If you're watching this later on, if you can like and subscribe, it'd be a great help. And check out the Patreon if you're interested. Check out my Patreon. I'll put it on again so people can have a look. And it's up to you if you want to join. Not forcing anybody, but it's all to have a good laugh. It's all the thing. You're to win like a book and a small prize with it too.
Yep.
So there you go. Have you all good night, and I'll speak to you soon.
Everybody take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Get some rest, Paul.